Cuts to the middle, fed onto the wing, shot off the shoulder of Knight, made the save, and it went up and skated in. One spin from the back of the net and bounced in. I think Bouchard put it in front, and it's 2-0 Oilers. Hyman, top line for the Oilers, applying some pressure. Bouchard jabs at it, takes a shoulder. Bouchard, get in off Vlasic, I believe. Hyman was parked in the crease. Maybe Hyman got a piece of it, Panger. Oh, deflected in off Vlasic, I believe. Hyman was parked in the crease. They're down in 12. Rogers, time runs out. Ball is out. Out. Touchdown. Rogers. Bouchard.
Quick. Lots of gas.
It's 2-0 Oilers.
The Jason Gregor Show.
Bouchard jabs at it, takes a shoulder from Dickinson. Puck comes back to the point, McDavid walks it across the blue line. Little spin move, back to Evan Bouchard with a bit of room. Got a pass in front, deflected in off Vlasic, I believe. Hyman was parked in the crease.
On Sports 1440.
Rogers, time runs out. Ball is out. It's picked up by the Texans and Sheldon Rankins. And he is in for a touchdown.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Cuts to the middle, fed onto the wing, shot off the shoulder of Knight, made the save, and it went up and skated in. He wasn't sure where it was, fed from the back of the net, and bounced in. I think Bouchard put it in front, and it's 2-0 Oilers.
What a tremendous Tuesday afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, Twitch. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. Very much appreciate it. As always, brought to you by our title sponsor, PlayAlberta.ca. Were you the winner? On Friday, somebody won $55 million in Lotto Max. Hopefully it was you. And it resets today only, and I say that in parentheses, only in quotes, $14 million up for grabs tonight at PlayAlberta.ca. As the Edmonton Oilers look to go back-to-back with victories. First time all season the Oilers could sweep on a back-to-back set. They're only 1-3-3 in the second game of back-to-backs. The good news? The victory was their last one against Vegas. Remember that? They lost the game in Minnesota, had to fly from Minnie to Edmonton, beat Vegas on that Sunday night. And so that was the first win of a back-to-back. Last year, the Oilers were 7-7 on the second half of a back-to-back night. The year before, they're 5-5. So they've been better, but not so much this year. So we'll see if they can get a victory tonight in Nashville, where they seem to win almost for fun. 14-1-1 in the last 6 years, dating back to January of 2020. Really, from the start of the 2019-2020 season, the Oilers have owned the Nashville Predators. Like, owned them. It's not even close. It's crazy. Draisaitl, McDavid beat them up for fun, really. in that series. So that's kind of wild. So we'll see what they look like tonight, and there will be some lineup changes as the Oilers have activated both Jake Wallman and Tristan Jarry. So I would expect both in the lineup. There's no benefit to activate them if you're not going to play them. So I'd expect them to go tonight. And I would expect Ike Howard to get in at forward. So somebody's coming out. It shouldn't be anybody if Janmark, Lazar, Frederick. That line was unreal last night. They were fantastic, man. They could have had a few goals. Lazar got robbed a few times. Frederick, that's one of his best games. His game is slow, started to come around. Slowly, he's moving his feet. Right? It's good. It's baby steps. But when your fourth line plays that well, it makes the game a lot easier. Right? Like they had momentum. They had lots of times momentum starting shifts. They also had momentum maintaining shifts. And that's a key for any fourth line. So I thought they were very good last night. I think Frederick 3 shots on goal himself. When he was on the ice, Oilers outshot them 9-3. It was a solid game. You got to look at somewhere to start playing better. And I thought the Winnipeg game was a little bit of that. He made an impact in that game. And last night they were good, and they could have had a few goals, that line. So we'll see if that carries over tonight against Nashville, where the Oilers, they win for fun. They win for fun. Leon Draisaitl, he has 13 goals in his last 7 visits to Nashville. 21 points. That's crazy. So you think about it, like Draisaitl has played 28 games against the Predators in his career. He has more 4-point games than he has 0-point games. It's wild. He's been excellent for the Oilers. And then Connor McDavid, well, he comes in riding a 16-game point streak against the Predators themselves. Last time he didn't have a point was like back in 2018, for goodness sakes. And he's also going for a 20-game scoring streak tonight. He had 2 points last night. He's up to 44 in this 18-game or 19-game stretch. He's on fire. There's only been 22 streaks that have had more points than McDavid's. And a lot of those guys had more games played. At the average that he's going at, depending on how long he goes. Like, imagine if he goes till the end of the month. And it's possible. Like, this week is really the last difficult week of the Oilers season when it comes to a schedule. They've got, they play back-to-back. They're playing 3 and 4 games. They're playing in different cities. But after this, it's fairly smooth sailing the rest of the way. So they come home, they play the Islanders Thursday, then they're in Vancouver and St. Louis. Vancouver Saturday, home to St. Louis. Then after that, they play the 20th, the 22nd, the 24th, the 26th, the 29th, and the 31st of January. Then they get into February. They have 2 days off. Then they play Toronto on the 3rd and in Calgary on the 4th. So it's a back-to-back, but it's really easy travel, right? It's a hop, skip, and a jump on the plane to Calgary. Nothing. Then, of course, they got a big break. Then they come out of the break, and they do play 3 games in 4 days. Anaheim, LA, and San Jose. And that finishes the month. But then they have 2 days off. They play Ottawa, 2 days off. They play Carolina, day off. Vegas, day off. Colorado, day off. Then they play back-to-back. And then they play basically every second day, the rest of the month, no back-to-backs. And they have Sunday, Monday at the end of March, Sunday, Monday on the last 2 weekends of March off. Then they get to April. They do have one set of back-to-back, but they have 2 days off before on the 5th and the 6th. They play in Utah on the 7th, San Jose on the 8th. Then they have the 9th and the 10th off. They got a very favorable schedule here after this week. So if you can figure out, they got 4 games left this week. You win at least 2 of them. But if you manage 3, man, that is a really good run. It sets up the Oilers very nicely. And, the way McDavid is playing, my God, do you know the pace he's on during this streak? Connor Halley, if you prorated his scoring streak right now, You know what he'd finish the season with?
155.
189. 189. He's got 44 points in 19 games. He gets a point tonight, that's 20. Right now he's up to 45 points, right? To be at 180 plus 2 extra games over. Like, it's wild. That's if he only gets a point. So it's still, he's on the best streak of his life. There's no question about it. He's obviously never had 19 games. But it's not just the 19 gamer. It's the production in the 19 gamer that is extremely impressive. So you look for that tonight. Anybody who's listening to the show, I love numbers. I love looking at statistical stuff. I love looking at things that we don't see very often, and that's what we're seeing right now with Connor McDavid. It's very special, very, very special. The Oilers last night, I thought, was a game that the score really kind of flattered Chicago. Spencer Knight played good, man. Oh my God, that could have been an absolute blowout. Could have been a blowout. So the Oilers, I know they scored 4, and Leon Draisaitl got a gift late. Good for him. He's got a 20-game point streak against the Blackhawks. Like, my goodness. It's kind of ridiculous when you think about it. But so now the Oilers come into Nashville tonight. McDavid's rolling. Draisaitl's rolling. The fourth line's got confidence. Wallman's coming back in. Jari's coming back in. They're going to have a lot of extra juice here. The dads are on the trip. Like, there's a lot of reasons to think the Oilers will play well tonight. Now, they also play Nashville, who is a top 10 team now for the last 6 weeks in the NHL. They're 15-8 in their last 23 games. But even during that time, they did face the Oilers, and Edmonton spanked them 6-2. Now, Nashville was playing their 7th game of a 7-game road trip. However, they did have 2 days off before the game. So it wasn't like, they're, oh my God, they're just dragging their carcass around where you're playing the second half of a back-to-back in the final of a 7-game road trip. No, that road trip was actually not overly bad. Because it got split up by Christmas, right? They played one game, then they had the Christmas break, then they came back, and they only had one set of back-to-back games, and they had 2 days off twice. So it was a long trip, but it was not a taxing trip, and the Oilers spanked them that night. They did have to go 11-7. They're a little bit banged up. They will have 12 forwards tonight. Stamkos has played better lately. Him, O'Reilly, and Forsberg. That's probably the line that's going to see McDavid's line. But I'll be interested to see who they play against McCarron, because last Tuesday in Edmonton, or sorry, not who they'll play against Draisaitl. McCarron's line played the most against Draisaitl last Tuesday. And it's not like Knobloch was, switching up his lines looking for matchups all the time. That's the matchup Nashville wanted. They went with a bigger, heavier line against Draisaitl. Didn't really work. Draisaitl, Kapanen, and Podkolzin, and remember them? They had a really good game. So I'll be curious tonight, maybe do they give Eric Hollis some of those opportunities? And Bunting maybe, but when you have Draisaitl and McDavid both rolling, it's very hard for teams to match up 2 lines against them. You might get one line where you're like, okay, we're pretty comfortable. But 2, it's hard, especially unless it's a top 5 or 10 team in the league. And I know Nashville's been that for the last 23 games, but they haven't been that all season long. So we do have some odds boosts for tonight's game at playalberta.ca for the Gregor Show involving the Oilers winning, McDavid, Draisaitl, all those guys getting points or goals. So you can check them out. 3 different options for you to play at playalberta.ca. We got a loaded show for you today. Keith Gretzky will join us. He's the GM of the Condors, assistant GM of the Edmonton Oilers. They've got lots of decisions. They had to send some guys down. They're getting some players back healthy. In Bakersfield, we'll get to rundown of Unger, who's played great, hasn't lost a game yet. Save percentage and his goals against average are on fire in Bakersfield. We'll talk about Quinn Hudson's having a great year, just signed a 2-year contract with the Oilers. TR will be by. Dave McCarthy, Tater in the 2-minute warning, Speck and Struds. We also got the pregame show with Walker coming up at 5 o'clock. We'll also go to Nashville to discuss the Preds' resurgence. Because, I'll give the Predators credit. Right? On November 26th, they looked like they were done. They had won 6 of their first 22 games. They were 6-12-4. And you're thinking, it's going to be a real long year for the Nashville Predators. But suddenly, they've turned it around. They've gone 15-8. And they are 2 points back of 8th place LA. 3 points back of 7th place San Jose. And they've all played the same amount of games. And Nashville has more regulation wins, so they'd have the tiebreaker. So it is, they're right in the mix. Now, can they continue it? That's going to be the question. But they have they've pulled themselves out of the muck and are at least in the race. Utah's in there as well. They got 48 points. LA, San Jose, 48 points. Nashville, 46. Anaheim, Chicago each 45. Now, Anaheim's going the wrong direction. Big time. Lost 5 in a row. They're 1-8-1 their last 10. I think they've only won 3 of their last 17 games. It's not looking good for the Ducks. And they got to try to find a way to get out of it. Otherwise, they'll ruin a great start, and it'll be a good night, Irene, for the Ducks, which I don't think they want. So, also should mention on Connor Ingram and the waivers that everybody's thinking about, which I understand, the number that you need to be most aware of is 4. Okay? After today, he has 4 more days on the roster. Then he would require waivers. So that's the number that's going to matter most for him is days on the roster, which will be once you get to 30, then you have to require waivers. He's currently at 25. Tomorrow's 26. Thursday's 27. So he could stay until Saturday, but then they'd have to send him down. Or they just don't worry about it and they carry 3 goalies and then they make a decision. Now they could carry 3 goalies through the Olympic break if they choose, because Adam Henrique is on LTIR. Now, where it becomes a little dicey is if all of a sudden they got a few injuries. Right? Now, if it was another guy in LTIR, that's okay. But if it's just a short-term injury or 2 to 2 forwards, they don't have the roster space to bring up anybody. So that would be the challenge. So we'll see what transpires with the Oilers in regards to their goaltending situation. But that's the important number to remember for Oiler fans is 4 days. Okay, that's the one. So 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. You can text us. Hey guys, I was listening to Gregor and Ray's podcast. There's a lot of discussion about returning GMs to return for the one-day conference, as well as talk about 7 to 10 seeds having play in like the NBA. What are your thoughts from Euro Trash? Well, you know what? Everybody gets all up in arms about 1 and 8. And it's like they forget. Yeah, here's what's going to happen. Okay. What would happen? Okay. I know right now you look at the Central Division and you're like, hey, the top 3 teams are in the Central. Now that's a rarity, but yes, this year, Dallas and Minnesota might meet in the first round. Now, the season isn't over, and somebody in the Pacific might get really hot. It would be hard, but it could, right? It could possibly happen. So you look at Minnesota, like they're 7 points up on Vegas, but Vegas has 3 games in hand. So it's not like, oh my God, it's a lock, right? Look at the order schedule. Could Edmonton go on a heater here? Yeah, they could. So let's talk about it at the end of the year, number one. But even if you go back to other years, which I have, and you look at the matchups, not much changes. Look at last year. Winnipeg was number 1. Vegas was number 2. They each led their own division, right? So they're still the number 1 and the number 2 seeds. And guess what? That means St. Louis is taking on Winnipeg. Minnesota's taking on Vegas. So nothing changes. What would have changed was Dallas would have played Edmonton in the first round instead of Colorado. Colorado and Edmonton were separated by 1 point. 1 point. So you're going to add in that much travel over 1 point. Why? Like, honestly, does it really make that much of a difference? If you're a good team, you're going to have to face good teams at some point. Dallas, LA, Colorado, Edmonton. Like, LA might have said, please, let's change it. Maybe they would have matched up better. I have no idea. We'll never know. But it wasn't like it was a massive difference. Look in the East. Washington, Toronto. They are both the number 1 seeds in their division. So Washington still would have played Montreal. New Jersey still would have played Toronto. Right? Wouldn't have changed. What would have changed was we had Tampa playing, who did they play? Florida in the first round. Now, Florida had 98 points. And Carolina had 99. So Tampa would have played Ottawa instead. Florida would have played Carolina. Again, we're talking a 1 point difference. And I don't know how it would have played out. I have no idea. Right? But Florida beat Tampa. Florida won the cup and in theory had to play a harder team in Tampa Bay in the first round than they would have in the 1-8. It didn't stop them from winning. If you're a good team, you win. You got to beat other good teams. So I think, like I chuckle when they're, two good teams are going to meet each other. I'm like, do you guys pay attention? You're going to have 200-point teams facing each other. Guess what? The West had 600-point teams, and 4 of them were going to meet in the first round, regardless. Whether you go Edmonton versus LA, Colorado versus Dallas, Dallas versus Edmonton, LA versus Colorado. It wouldn't have changed. So people just complain about it because they love to complain. They don't ever take the time to look and say, is it really that different? Yeah, there's the odd year that it would change. Sure. I get it. But if you want to make divisional games more important and you have more of them, then you should play your division. If you're going to go to 1-8, then just play equal amount of games against your conference. Right? Why have divisions then? What's the point? Other than you finish second. And I know they're like, hey, we want to restrict travel in the regular season. Okay. But then you want to add travel in the playoffs when it matters more? Seems kind of counterproductive to me. So this happens all the time. It changes. One GM's like, oh my God, you know what? We would have went a round deeper. But it's a great what if, because none of us would have ever known what would happen. Had LA played Colorado and Edmonton played Dallas. Now, based on the previous 2 years, Edmonton beat Dallas in the third round. Are they going to beat them in the first round? Probably. So, what's really changing? I just don't. It's a lot of noise to me at the end of the day. Look at the NFL playoffs. Are you having teams with better records sometimes playing other teams? Yeah, you are, because you have 4 division winners and they have 6 out of their 17 games in the division. So Major League Baseball. Sometimes the 2 best teams can be in the same division. They're going to have to meet in the second round. It's just going to happen. There's never going to be a perfect system. So we can, what will happen? They'll go back to 1-8. And then guess what? In 10 years, 12 years down the road, they'll be like, you know what? We need to go back to divisions, man. We want to get the rivalry. We want to stoke the fires again. And around we go. Does it ever change anything? No, because no one knows. It's all a what if. Oh, if we would have played this team. It's like people text me, oh, Gregor, you know what? The Oilers would have won the cup with a different goalie. Really? You know this for certain? Right? And if they would have, who's coming off the roster to make the salary cap work? Most what ifs are simply that. What ifs. When we come back, Keith Gretzky will join us. No what if. The Condors are playing great. We'll find out why next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicks things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Made for some rough roads, but it means trails are now packed and ready for action. Don't miss out on riding adventures this winter with a Ski-Doo from Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. Work or play with new 2026 Generation 5 models with class-leading design and power. And right now, take advantage of 5.99% financing OAC. Only at Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. 15 Inglewood Drive in St. Albert. And always at riversidehonda.com. Shop local, shop Canadian. Summit Restaurant. Located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common, Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
Jason Gregor isn't just a sports guy. He's a community builder. with over 2 million raised for local charities. And his Gregor Foundation, he's making a difference on and off the air. Check out Gregor weekday afternoons on Sports 1440.
You matter. Your mental health matters, and you're braver than you think. Not Alone is an organization focused on creating a space of acceptance and support through tough, meaningful conversation. My name is Tyler Smith, and you are never alone. NotAloneCo.com. It's okay to not be okay.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Exciting news from St. Albert Dodge. The all-new 2026 Jeep Gladiator Sport packages have arrived. They have a great selection and a bunch of colors to choose from. And if you've checked out the Sport, you know it comes in some fun colors. Rugged capability, practical off-road features, and you can get behind the wheel for as low as $49,900. That's right. Put yourself in a brand new Jeep Gladiator Sport for less than $50,000. What more can you ask for? Time to head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocenter.com today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. The Oilers are back in action, and OTR is ready to be your hockey headquarters. $5.75 Molson Canadian, 69-cent wings, and play, score, and win every game. See more at ontherocks.yeg.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by playalberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
In Nashville. It's also Connor McDavid's birthday. Probably the first time that, well, I know it's not probably, it is the first time that he's playing a game on his birthday with his father on the dad's trip. He's obviously played games on his birthday before, including his 21st birthday when they were in Vegas and won. That was when Darnell Nurse scored in overtime. And now McDavid, a few years later, on his birthday, 29th birthday, by the way, for Connor McDavid. And did you know that Connor McDavid, it probably doesn't surprise any of you, but Connor McDavid, there's only 7 players in NHL history who have scored 1,000 points before they turned 29. Wayne Gretzky, he had 1,935. Lemieux, 1,211. McDavid, 1162. Steve Yzerman, 1122. Dale Howardchuk, 1109. Darmer Yager, 1035. Brian Trottier, 1019. Now, McDavid actually, because he got injured and his birthday's early in January, he's only played 758 games. Yzerman played 815, had 40 fewer points. Now, Lemieux actually had 1,211 points, played 599. But Gretzky had 1,935 points before he was 29. Wild stuff, man. Wild stuff. Let's get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Spruce Grove Saints. And coming up this weekend, the BCHL All-Star Weekend is in Spruce Grove at the new Thompson Family Arena. You have the prospects game, all sorts of college prospect going at it on Friday night. And then it's Canada versus the world on Saturday, the marquee matchup. You can get your tickets at sgsaints.ca. There's a few tickets left. It's going to be sold out barn. That new barn is unreal. So you might want to check it out. There's going to be tons of scouts in there, lots of good young players taking part in the BCHL All-Star game. And our guest today is the Oilers assistant general manager, also the GM of the surging Bakersfield Condors. Keith Gretzky joins us. Keith, welcome back to the show, my man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Well, Keith, lots to discuss here. I guess let's start first of all with Connor Unger. Hey, that's a reality of when you're in the American League, guys. Connor Ingram comes up because Tristan Jarry goes out, so you have to replace him. And Connor Unger comes in, and all he's done is win games. He's 5-0, and he's got ridiculous, like a .959 save percentage, a 1.37 goals against average. And this was prior, Keith, to him having to play on 3 different ECHL teams where he had identical save percentage, 944, 944, 945 on 3 different teams. Like, this guy's been unreal regardless of which team he's playing for.
Yeah, that's the best part. No, I think, even when he came up, I talked to him about it, probably wanted to be in Fort Wayne. He moved around to a couple teams in the coast, but the one thing we've done a great job as an organization, we've been always in contact with him. Jeff Saleko, our goalie guy, who works with the guys in Fort Wayne, he scouts, and he spent a lot of time with them. He's done a lot of work with them to keep them, understanding you're part of the organization, and he never quit. He never doubted it, and he's come in and he's played well for us.
What does he do best so far in between the pipes, Keith? I think we might have lost him, Cons. So we'll try to get him back there. So we'll reconnect there. So I could just went haywire there. So we'll see what happens. But maybe he didn't want to give a secret on what Unger does so well. But his numbers are very, very good in the American League. And it's, you know what? It's an interesting dynamic, Edmonton, with their goaltenders right now. They almost have too many goalies in the organization, right? Because they have 7. They've got 3 in Edmonton, 2 in Bakersfield, and 2 in the ECHL. And it's good to have goaltenders, but 7 means you have 3 somewhere. Now, if somebody's injured, okay, sure. But then what happens is you don't have a space. Like Connor Unger didn't really have a home. He's playing on all these different teams in the ECHL. And by the way, playing great. No one could say, well, it's because sometimes environment can make a goalie's number look better, for sure. But when you have the exact same save percentage of 944 or 945, basically, with third decimal point, and it's the same everywhere, I got to give him credit. And so he's looked really good. Matt Tompkins, I'm told, has played pretty well. Also, but the Condors as a team, as Keith's back with us, Keith, your team, I wouldn't say you got off to a slow start, but you've really started to roll here despite having to battle some illness and guys getting called up. What's impressed you most here in the last month for your team?
I think, we always knew we could score goals, but I think we've done a better job in our own zone. We were gung-ho. We still are a gung-ho team, but we worried a little bit more about our own end. And to me, it doesn't matter if you're a highly skilled player or a grinder, you still got to compete. And the games that I've seen, and I watch all the games, I see a lot more guys competing. You got Seth Griffith blocking shots, and it's contagious when the older guys do the little things to win hockey games. And you know what? That's great for the team.
Your Quinn Hudson is having himself a fantastic season, and he got rewarded, and rightfully so. Just signed a 2-year contract. He's got 23 goals, 38 points. He's right behind Arthur Kaliev, who played in the NHL for a long time. He's got 24 goals in 36 games. Quinn's got 23 and 30, and he's got 38 points. He's right there. I know, we saw him in Edmonton late last year, only for a few games, but is it fair to say he's exceeded your expectations early on? Like, I know you thought he'd be a goal scorer, but 23 goals in 30 games, that's an elite goal scorer.
Yeah, I'm really happy with the way he's played. And he's learned to compete too. It's not about being physical. It's about winning puck battles and coming out of the corner with the puck. And he's done a really good job of doing that. And I think his skating's improved. So all in all, I'm a believer in our coaches, but it's also, the player has to be willing to do it, and Hutsy, he's been great.
Really good for your team. Szymanski, another guy who came over from Germany, and big body. Were you expecting this much offense out of him?
I didn't know what to expect. I just thought, you know what, let's wait and see what he does and how he plays. And he's been a great two-way player, and he's probably got more points than I thought he would, but that's a credit to him.
Keith Gretzky joins us. He is the general manager of the Bakersfield Condors, assistant GM of the Edmonton Oilers. And Marjala just continues to impress. Keith, I know, hey, like a lot of young players, got to add some strength to it. With your schedule, has he been able to get a little stronger as the season's gone along physically?
Yeah, because we implemented a program for him. We told him that he's put on some weight. He's gotten stronger. He realizes that it's not about just the games and the points. It's the big picture, from getting extra power skating to doing extra weights, and he's embraced it. And when you're young kids and you embrace these opportunities to do extra, that's what it's about. That'll get you to.
No. This whole so long, I think I still have
Wow.
So when you do that in the NHL, you have to do the extra. And these young guys that have come over, they've all done that, and that's a credit to the player to buy in. I call it buying in.
You got a lot of new faces on that team. Hudson, Marjala, Szymanski. You brought in Samuel Poulin over in the trade with Pittsburgh. Ike Howard's been down there, Lepinen. So you change a lot of these guys over. How's Lepinen's game? I know early on it might have taken him a while to adjust to the North American game, but how's he played here the last month?
He's been unbelievable. And like you say, it takes a good 20 games, especially the Europeans. And it doesn't matter how old you are. It's just a different everything. And his family wasn't here. So you put all those things in. It's hard for a European player, but the last while before he got injured, he was tracking very well and probably our best defenseman by far.
What is his timeline on when he'll return?
We think a couple of weeks, so we'll see what happens.
Okay. The injury bug is definitely, well, not just the injury bug, but the sickness and illness kind of went through your team. And it looked like, I'm assuming, Keith, based on the moves you guys made today, that you were able to send some players back to the ECHL, that you're going to get some of your healthy bodies back, like James Steven, Tyler Inamoto, Capone. They've all been loaned. So who's coming back now?
I think Szymanski will be back, Petrov will be back, and Prokop will be back. That's for Friday in Calgary.
Okay. When you watch the conversations you have with Stan Bowman in regards, like, your organization currently has 7 goalies, but there's really only spots for 6 of them. How much is playing time for, like, if Connor Ingram comes down, for instance, or even Calvin Pickard, one of the two, then Connor Unger's got to go somewhere. How challenging is that, especially when he's already, that you'd have to go back to another team? Like, do you have a plan on how that would work?
Well, we all know that something has to happen, and until I'm told, we just play as status quo and do our job. And you know what? Whatever happens. We make the best of it. So let's, you get a chance to play, you got to play, and you got to play well. And if it's Unger, whoever, to stay up, that's what we have to do.
Okay. Bo Akey started the season. He had to get some playing time. He's coming off an injury. Now he's coming up. He's played, I think, just over 20 games. Keith, how is he starting to look and adapt to the pro game?
I think he's done a really good job. I think, are there times when, he gets out muscled or whatever? Yeah, of course. And he gets tired because he's on the lighter side. I think the big picture is to get him to play a lot of minutes. He's done that. And his game's just got to keep growing.
Obviously size and strength is something that's just going to take time to get to. But how is he
Exactly.
in reading the play and kind of thinking the game at the pro level?
I think he's got to improve. Like a lot of young D, their reads in their own zone, but he does a great job transporting the puck. I think he does a good job of skating it, and I really like how he sees the open man and gets him the puck. So he's confident that way, and I like that about his game.
Keith Gretzky joins us, Bakersfield Condors rolling. So, Keith, when you look at it, obviously the goal is to get guys to the NHL, but the goal at the same time, I know when I talked at the start of the year was, hey, we want a more competitive team this year. And here we are, 35 games in. You're right in the hunt for first place. You're 2 back of Ontario. You play the same amount of games. You're 3 back of Colorado. They got a few games in hand. And then the Barracuda are right behind you. There's a little bit of separation then after that with the Wranglers. Lots of teams in the American League are a little bit older. You guys, you've got a good mix, but a lot of your better players are kind of in their, early to mid 20s. You don't have really an old team by AHL standards.
No, we come to the rink and we come to work and have fun. Those are our 2 big things. Third one is to improve your game. And right now we're doing that. We become a team. I like how we've become a team. We stick together. We have fun, and fun's number one. You want to enjoy the game, but have fun with your teammates. And we've done a really, really good job of doing that.
How much of that is like calling chalk in yourself and, instilling, like a positive environment? And how hard is it to do at the AHL where you have much more fluctuation in your roster than you would at the NHL level?
I think it's the most important thing, because those are the kids that, you don't want mopey kids that are mad or whatever. It's a different generation and we all know that, but I think Colin does a great job along with his coaches and even the trainers. We make it a fun place to be. Everybody knows what is expected. You come to work, you come to compete, and do your job. Do the best you can every night.
Keith, as always, great catching up with you. Enjoy the upcoming weekend and continued success down in Bakersfield. We'll talk to you again soon.
Anytime. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Keith Gretzky, the GM of the Condors. They're 19-10-6. They're 8-1-1 in their last 10. They've really been rolling here for over the last month. Quinn Hudson, obviously, we've mentioned it. He's lighting it up down there, but Szymanski's played very well. Marjala's played very well. Obviously, Connor Unger, since he's come up, there's not much more he can do. He's 5-0. He's got a shutout. He's got a 1.37 goals against and a 959 save percentage. And that's just, he's a 24-year-old goalie. Now, just because you have success in the American League, I can't say it's going to translate to the NHL. I don't know. The goaltending position it's voodoo. I know guys, that's their job to analyze the goalie position. And even then, they're just like, well, you know what, geez, there's a little bit of uncertainty. It's hard, right? But for him to come in and play that well early on, that's been a big boost for them. And, what are the Oilers going to do? Now, if you're worried about waivers, they basically got, after today, 4 days to decide on Connor Ingram. He can be on the roster up until 29 days. Today's day 25. So day 29 is Saturday. If you're on the roster for 30 days, then guess what? He would require waivers. So if they're worried about losing a goalie, there's no chance of putting Ingram on waivers. We're not going to, I'd be stunned. That makes no sense to me. It might be Calvin Pickard. But when you look at the health concerns for lots of teams around the NHL, some could say, hey, maybe they'll claim him. Now, Ottawa just signed James Reimer, and Allmark is around the rink, and it sounds like he might be back sooner than later. So that might take them out of the mix, unless they're going to carry 3 goalies. Right? Carolina, they lost Kochetkov. I wouldn't put it past them to consider having a third goalie. They were carrying 3 goalies anyway. Right. So they could do it. And they got massive amount of cap space. Okay. But right now they also have 23 players on the roster, 14 skaters, 7 defensemen, 2 goalies. So if they wanted to claim another goalie, then they're going to have to send down somebody. Could they claim Pickard and send down Noah Philp? I guess it's possible, but so we'll see what happens. I can understand the orders to look and say, you know what, let's just carry 3 goalies until the Olympic break. To me, that would make the most sense. So, hey, Greg, do we know who's starting in goal tonight? Well, I have to think it's Tristan Jarry. Why would you activate him off of LTIR if he wasn't going to play? There's no benefit to doing it. Why not just keep him on LTIR? So I would assume that's why he was activated, is because he's going to play. Otherwise, I see no reason to do it. Quick break. We'll return. It's Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The job won't wait. Why should you? At AWS Welding Supplies and Repairs, conveniently located in Nisku, we've got everything you need to get it done. From product sales to servicing and calibrating machines, we're your one-stop shop. We're a proud, locally owned and operated business, committed to serving our community with a proven track record of customer service. Don't let a broken tool slow you down. We offer fast repairs and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Vinny and Don in Hockey are dedicated to skill development for all hockey players. If you know a student athlete interested in growing as a person and a player, register for a free shadow day. Beginner or experienced, this program develops a student athlete skill in a supportive environment. It's a great opportunity for prospective student athletes entering grades 3 through 12 to see what Vimy and Donnan have to offer. Visit vimyridge.epsb.ca or donnan.epsb.ca for more info and to sign up.
Cantork has turned 25. That's right, 25 years of building tools so good, they practically torque themselves. Hard work and innovation equals problem solved. See our latest designs at cantork.com.
Mr. Rooter goes skiing.
Sick gear, Mr. Rooter. Are you ready to hit the slopes?
Not yet. I need to report a possible crime.
Oh no, what's happening?
I saw a bunch of hooligans discussing shredding the half pipe. As a plumber, I've taken the Hippocratic Oath to do no harm and act in the best interest of all pipes, whether PVC, copper, or otherwise.
It's made of snow, Mr. Rooter.
Snow? Things are worse than I had feared.
There's no better plumber than Mr. Rooter.
Top quality flooring, locally owned, and Canadian products from Beaulieu. Yeah, that's CFI.
CFI what?
No, CFI, Custom Floors Inc.
From free estimate to professional installation, contact Custom Floors Inc. at customfloorsinc.ca. Whether you're at home, in the car, or on the move, you're never more than a tap away from Sports 1440. Download the radio player or iHeart app today so you can get all access anytime to Edmonton's only sports radio station, Sports 1440.
The new double cheesy melt at McDonald's. We're talking 2 juicy, mouth-watering 100% Canadian beef patties, 2 slices of cheesy goodness, with even more melty, cheesy sauce on top. Topped with pickles, then crispy and grilled onions. The way it all comes together, you don't just eat it, you melt into it. The double cheesy melt, only at McDonald's. For a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Happy New Year. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you for everything in 2025. With your help and your support, we fed almost 500 families. We donated to various charities in the Edmonton area, and we're going to do it again in 2026. Please stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Sure, your couch is comfortable, but watching the game is always better and on the rocks. With crystal clear TVs, you won't miss a single play, and the specials are a major league win. Pre-game warm-up starts with specials 30 minutes before the puck drops. Get 69-cent wings and $5.75 Molson Canadian and Coors Light drafts. And play score and win every game for your chance to win big. Be part of the action this hockey season. See the menu online at ontherocks.yeg.com.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan. For all your residential water needs, your local water treatment company, more than just big bottles, Culligan.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
Oh, 248, little country music. Oh, they love that down in Nashville, don't they? Oof, I've been down there, man. I can tell you, it's unbelievable. If you're ever looking for a road trip and you want to say, I want to go watch some games and I want to have some fun, it is hard to beat Nashville. People are uber friendly. And if you like live music, you can just walk down the strip, like literally a block from the arena. And you can just walk down the strip and there's a place probably every location, super friendly. Some you can get after it a little bit more if you just want to relax, have some food. It's fantastic. Now I will say, if you go in the summertime, pack a little extra because you'll be soaking wet by the time you get home. I remember walking home after the draft at like 12:30 in the morning. And by the time I got back, I'd have a shower. So humid outside. It's crazy, but it's an awesome place. I highly recommend it. If you're ever looking for a road trip for a hockey and a little fun, Nashville would be right near the top of my list. And if you're an Oilers fan lately, you go there, you got a pretty good chance to win because the Oilers had a lot of success there over the last 6 seasons. 14-1-1 in their last 16 against the Predators. Leon Draisaitl has 13 goals in his last 7 road games in Nashville. It's wild. McDavid's on a 16-game point streak against the Preds. I'm sure Nashville is not loving the fact that it's McDavid and Draisaitl. Although, they probably appreciate him, but they don't like playing against him. So let's get to the Oil Report, brought to you by Volvo Cars. Brought to you by Go Auto, where they have 31 new vehicle brands, 76 locations for you to shop at, and over 15,000 vehicles. Any vehicle that you're looking for, really good chance they will have it. GoAuto.ca. As Pete Weber, like the OG of the Nashville Predators, joins us. Pete, how you doing, man?
Is the OG means the old guy?
No, the original. But it could be the old guy too. Sure, yeah, I guess it could be both. Okay, well, it's kind of got to be both at the same time, I guess, right? That's a good thing.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's nice to be in that situation.
Yeah, it's true. Pete, the Predators, man, they have, if you told me on November 26th that the Preds would be 2 points out of the playoffs, I'd be like, okay, they were 6-12-4 and looked like they were going nowhere. And now suddenly they've gone 15-8. What's changed from your vantage point over the last 23 games?
Well, there are several things that have changed. And I tell you, if I had told you that was going to happen way back when, you would have asked for my car keys. You would not have allowed me to drive because you would have figured I was somewhat addle-brained with all of that. But what has happened to change things around with this team? The youngsters have started to produce. But for that matter, we made a joke about OG, but older fellows have as well. I mean, Steven Stamkos has come to life. He has been just monstrous for the last 3-4 weeks. And he has been looking much more like the Steven Stamkos we recall in that Tampa Bay Lightning outfit that he used to wear. And I think that's been a big part of it. Another is getting Roman Josi back from injury and the goaltending. And we're going to talk about expected goals for and all of that. All the, as they say, they love to say the underlying numbers, but really it has been a case of UC Saros giving this team a chance to win virtually every time out.
Yeah. He's played great. Steven Stamkos definitely has woken up, because I know this first probably last year and this year, people were like, hey, like the guy we signed, we want him to be the guy now we've seen for the last 23 games. Ryan O'Reilly's close to a point a game player in that time. And really, it's odd, Pete, that their power play has really woken up, oddly enough, when Marchessault got hurt.
That is something. And I don't know that there's a direct correlation there, but it's one that we're going to look at right now and have to investigate as much as we can. But I mean, Marchessault was a proven goal scorer coming in here. But then again, a year ago on July 1st, the Predators won, if you will, the free agency. And then they didn't win with the results of the free agency on July 1 of 2025.
Yeah. They went big there and it hadn't panned out just yet. But now that O'Reilly, Forsberg, Stamkos line, now I know they switched it up a little bit last game and, Bunting took a few shifts there, but for the main part, that's been their line. And I don't care what team you're on, your best players have to be your best players, and they're kind of carrying them offensively. Fair?
Yeah, that's very fair. And another guy who's involved in that mixing and matching is Luke Evangelista, who has come from a kid who looked like he's all the time looking to set someone else up to now he's actually shooting the puck. And I think that has made a difference. They've had to play him more honestly.
Yeah. Pete Weber joins us. Pete, Andrew Burnett after the game last Tuesday in Edmonton was like, dude, like, I know what the production is, and we're trying to figure it out. We can't stop him. Like, it's not just one. It's both. Like, Draisaitl's on a ridiculous heater, but so is McDavid. Yes. And the funny, like, I went back and I actually looked at the Oilers, as a team, their success against Nashville over the last 6 years. It's been the best of any team in the league. And Nashville's being like 16th best team. They have one less win than LA in that time span. And so it's not like they're beating up on the worst team in the league. Like, they should have a better record against some of those teams. It's just, why do you think Edmonton is such a tough matchup for the Preds?
I don't know. And the fact that tonight also happens to be Connor McDavid's 29th birthday, I don't think the Predators are going to present him with a cake before the game unless they figured it would weigh him down. But I don't know how you can't slow him down on the ice. You can't slow him down with birthday cakes, I don't think. But I can just detect, didn't talk to the guys this morning, but I think that they just thirst for the chance to play these Predators because things work out so well for them. It's kind of like it used to be in the original days of the Predators when they made hay playing against the St. Louis Blues all the time, and the Chicago Blackhawks for that matter, before the Blackhawks got to be, as we say, a good team.
Yeah, well, that's totally fair. If you look at this Predators team now, and they're 2 points out of the playoffs, I think it's clear.
Right.
They're not in sell mode now. Now, obviously, I guess something could change between now and March 7th if they suddenly fall back out. But let's say they continue on here and they suddenly are looking to say, hey, maybe we got to add something. Where is an area that they would like to add?
I think they would like to, and I'm not even going to give you anything other than a description of the various area, but I think they would love to have a physical defenseman, a defenseman who really mucks it up in front of the net. And I think that would be the number one thing for them.
Okay. What about their blue line? How do you rank their defense core, and how have they played as a group during the resurgence?
It's been better, I think, because, well, number one, Nick Hague got better. He had an early in the season injury that kept him out. And then you've got, a number of other players who are getting the chance. Adam Wilsby, overlooked quite a bit, and I can understand why. But here's one of the guys who really began to show forth when the team was in Stockholm back in early November. And there he was, of course, playing in his hometown. And I think he had confidence that came out of that. And I think that he's on the third pair. So it doesn't say that that's where things go all the time. But I think that he has been a major contributor in many ways to what the team has been able to do on the blue line. And this has been, I talk with my former broadcast partner, Terry Crisp, on a regular basis. And he always says, I want to get Tom Watt in here, my old Calgary assistant coach. I know I shouldn't talk about Calgary on an Edmonton broadcast, but talk about his defensive zone coverage philosophy, something that one of his former junior players, the Predators' former captain, Mike Fisher, can still recite from rote. He remembers how he want to have one guy in front of the net at all times, not two guys going back to the corner trying to retrieve a loose puck, and then somebody who is in front of the net is supposed to be that physical presence to which I alluded a few moments ago.
Yeah, because that was my question, was going to be like the size on the back end. Nick Hague is a huge player. I really like him a lot. I think Vegas actually misses him and Pietrangelo. Nick Perbix.
Well, there's no question. When they made that move, not knowing about Pietrangelo, I mean, that I think weakened them greatly. Yeah,
I would agree. Nick Perbix, Tampa Bay is, they're kind of like Nashville of the East. They develop a lot of defensemen. You look at, they got Darren Radish. Not that they necessarily developed them. The guy's playing unreal over there. Perbix is playing top pair minutes for the Preds. Was this expected when you talked to manager? Like, did they think he would be a top minute guy?
They thought that he was going to be likely paired with Roman Josi, and that alone will give you top minutes without any question.
Right.
But I think that Nick Hague was the first thought to put with Roman Josi, but then injuries earlier in the year just short-circuited that whole concept.
Pete, expectations obviously have changed drastically in a 6-week time in Nashville. I'm sure fans, if you were a little frustrated now, what's the sense in Nashville? They expected management to go for it and be adders?
I think they would love to see that, but we've still got so much. We're still in this mushy middle, if you will, and trying to decide which way you go. And are you being deceived by what's going on recently, or is that the reality of it all? It's kind of like we got to go to a former Vanderbilt football coach, from other places, Bill Parcells, and he will tell you, you are what your record says you are. So let's see what that record speaks to us about over the course of the next few weeks.
Awesome stuff, Pete. We appreciate it. Have a good call. Enjoy the game tonight.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it. And if anybody wants to send some bakery goods in for Connor to celebrate tonight for himself, and I know he could possibly just pass it on to his father, who's on the trip, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks, Pete. That's Pete Weber. Yes, it is the birthday boy, Connor McDavid, 29 years of age today. He has the third most points in NHL history at the age of 28, or before he should, I guess by the time he turned 29. Only Lemieux and Gretzky had more. And that's why I keep saying this. Connor McDavid, and I've been saying it for a few years, Connor McDavid is going to be a 2,000-point player before his career is over. And I won't be shocked if it's closer to 2,200. Honestly, don't take for granted what you're watching right now. Sit back if you go home tonight, right? Convince your spouse, you know what? You might just want to watch a period. What you're seeing here is a pretty special player who's right now on an absolute heater. 44 points, 19 games. He gets a point tonight. That'll be the 32nd time a player has had a point streak of 20 games or more. But that's not the 32nd player because Gretzky's done it 12 times, right? So you gotta keep it in perspective how difficult it is not only to get to 20 point games in a row, but at the production that McDavid's at is the impressive part. And I'm kind of curious to see how long. I honestly tonight I don't have much concern that he's going to get a point. It's that Islander game on Thursday when you got the hottest goalie in the league in Soroka. That's going to be an epic battle, and I look forward to that. Hey, Gregor, the Predators should try anybody but Saros. It's not working. Well, Saros is your starter, right? And I mentioned the Oilers are 14-1-1. Saros has started 9 games. He's lost 7. The other guys have started 7 games. They've lost 5. I'm not sold. It's much better. Doesn't really matter who's in net. Saros has one of the wins. Kevin Lankinen has the other win. That's it. It's a slog, man. It's an absolute slog for them right now. There's no other way to put it. So we'll see. Eventually the tide will turn and Edmonton's not going to go 14-1-1. But right now, that's what it is. They're not good against the Oilers. And if you can go check out the numbers of my Oilers Nation article, because I put down the numbers of all the teams Oilers since the 1920 season. That's when this run really began. Compared the Oilers' domination of Nashville to all the other teams in the West, and I put in how many wins all those other teams have had. It's mind blowing. Like Nashville over the last 6 years in the regular season has one less win than LA. Right, one less win than LA. They're pretty close, but the Oilers beat Nashville for fun. Now they also beat LA, but not to the level of that. With LA, they're 12-7-2. Good record, but not like, oh my God, dominant. LA's won 9 of the 21 games. Nashville has won 2. That's it of 16. Like Edmonton's got a 90 points percentage. 90.6. Against LA, it's 61.9. And LA and Nashville have been separated by 1 point over a 6-year span. They're pretty even teams in the regular season. But Edmonton absolutely dominates one. It's wild. Wild stuff. Let's get to the Con Man Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. Fountain Tire, they do a lot, but the number one thing they do is they care about your vehicle. Get road ready from tires, wheels, oil changes, vehicle repairs. FountainTire.com.
It's a Sports 1440 update.
It is game day. Oilers taking on the Nashville Predators. Puck drop 6 o'clock. Our pregame coverage here on Sports 1440 gets going at 5 with Walker, Gregor, Paulson, and Landon Ferraro. Off the ice, the Oilers activating goaltender Tristan Jarry and defenseman Jake Wallman from LTIR. Team also placing forward Adam Henrique on the LTIR and moving goaltender Connor Ingram from emergency recall to regular recall. Elsewhere around the NHL, you have Toronto in Utah. The Ducks taking on the Stars. Jets, Islanders, Blues host the Hurricanes, Red Wings in Boston, Jackets host the Flames, Canadians travel to Washington, Penguins and Lightning, and the Canucks taking on the Sens in the association this evening. You've got the Spurs taking on the Thunder, Trailblazers in the Bay up against the Warriors, Rockets host the Bulls, and the Suns taking on the Heat. NFL offseason news. Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin stepping down after 19 seasons in Pittsburgh. Tomlin, who still has 2 years remaining on his contract, informed his players of the decision earlier today. With Tomlin's departure, the Steelers will begin their head coaching search. It's just the 4th time since 1969. And in LA, Chargers firing offensive coordinator Greg Roman. Eagles doing the same with their OC, Kevin Patullo. In the BCHL, Brooks and Okotoks just after 7. And at 5 o'clock, you've got Ottawa meeting Montreal in the PWHL. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by former NHLer Terry Ryan, also Dave McCarthy from SiriusXM NHL, and we'll hear another edition of Cam Tate's 2-Minute Warning. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
This is Andrew Walker, host of the postgame show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business, and for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal.
How are you?
Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're
Connor
making
McDavid.
it easy.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The
Game day, Oilers in Nashville. It's also
water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquessential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of
unbelievable.
filtration
If you're ever
and
looking
14
for a road
filter
trip,
options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Action Electricals Projects team takes the field, folks. Ready to execute the entire play for new commercial builds.
Absolutely. They're masters of design, build, sketching strategy from initial blueprints to core electrical infrastructure. The team never misses on complex projects.
Known for handling big league constructions and major renovations, ensuring flawless execution, hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium one-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's with a $6 one-top medium when you order any large specialty at regular menu price. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option.
Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by playalberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 3 o'clock. How are you, Jason Gregor? Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Always brought to you by playalberta.ca. Lotto Max tonight, 14 million. It's the Matthias Ekholm of the lottery tonight. You can get your tickets at playalberta.ca. While you're there, you can check out the Jason Gregor Show special best odds boosts. If you think there's going to be some offense, specifically by 97 and 29 tonight, you might want to check them out. Some odd boosts. Get it at playalberta.ca. Coming up this hour, we are going to hear from Cam Tate, 2-minute warning. Dave McCarthy's going to be by. We'll talk a little orders for you. We got a lot of questions on the text line at 833-401-1440, wondering about, hey, Gregor, I'm seeing lots of different things on resetting of games. And I'll just say this, the orders, here's the truth. And I got this confirmed from capologists around the league. It's 30 days. And even if you're on emergency or regular roster, you're on the roster for 30 days. So that doesn't change. Nothing changes. And so in the case of Connor Ingram, if you're worried about waivers, he has 4 days after today where he is waiver exempt. But once he reaches 30 days on the roster, then he would require waivers. That's how it goes. So are the Oilers thinking about it? Yeah, they probably are. And, the question is going to be, would a team put in a claim for their goaltender? It's like Carolina right now. Could they do it? Sure. If they feel like they want, because Kochekov's out for the year and they've got Brandon Bussi and they got Freddie Anderson. If they feel like, you know what? We need another one. Now, they've also got Caden Primo in the minors. So I don't know. Like, how many goalies you're going to have in the minors? Like, I already got 4, right? I guess they could take Pickard and keep him on the NHL roster, but then they got to send a forward down, right? Anaheim has 3 goalies. It's not an option. Boston has 3 goalies. They got some young guys in the minor. Not an option. Buffalo, 3 goalies. Not an option. Calgary, why would they do it? They got Wolf and they got Cooley. There's no reason for them to carry 3. And you know what? They've got Prosvetov. They just signed. He's kind of like their number 3 goalie. He's making basically $1 million in the minors. So they're not going to do it. Carolina's not going to do it. Chicago just got rid of Laurent Brossoit, and they have Spencer Knight and Arvid Soderblom, so they don't need help at the NHL level. So I'm going to take them out. Colorado, no. The Columbus Blue Jackets. Now they just got a new head coach, but they've got Elvis Merzlikins. They got Jet Greaves. Like, they're pretty set at the NHL level. And they got Fedotov in the minors. He's making $3.275. Do you think they're going to want another $1 million goalie on the roster? I'm going to say niet to that. So then there's the Dallas Stars. Jake Ottinger, Casey DeSmith. They don't need any help at the NHL level. So I would say no. Detroit Red Wings. John Gibson, Cam Talbot. They're making $9 million between the two of them. They've got Sebastian Cossa. What's the other guy's name? Well, actually, got the local guy, Carter Geilander. He's in the ECHL for them. And God, what's the other guy's name? I can't remember his name, but I don't see why Detroit would be interested. Florida, you got goalie Bob, you got Tarasov, right? They've got Kachuk coming. They got too many players as is. I don't see why they're going to carry 3 unless they get an injury between now and the time you'd put them on waivers, right? LA Kings. Who do they got? Darcy Kemper, Anton Forsberg. Picker's not an upgrade on Forsberg, like not an obvious one. So I don't see why they would do it, right? And they also have Phoenix Copley in the minors, so they don't need him. Minnesota Wild, no chance. They got really good NHL goaltending, not an issue. Montreal, they've already got 3 goalies, so they're not going to do it. Nashville Predators, UC Saros. They just signed Annunen. They really like him. Why are they going to carry 3 goalies? Right? There's no need for them to carry 3 goalies. Their guys aren't banged up. So I don't see why they would suddenly be interested to want to do it. So, and we keep, because I think this is, just bear with me. I think it's important. Now you get to New Jersey. Now Markstrom is a little injury prone, but he's got he hasn't even started his new contract yet. And Jake Allen's their backup, and he signed that 5-year deal? He's going nowhere, right? They've also got Nico Dawes in the minors. So I'm going to say no to the New Jersey Devils. The New York Islanders, their goaltending's been really good. Sorokin and Rittich, they don't need help, right? They don't. They got, I don't even know who their third goalie is, to be bluntly honest, but it doesn't really matter because they got Sorokin, maybe the best goalie in the NHL this year, and Dave Rittich has played really well when he's been in. The Rangers are a tire fire, right? You got Shesterkin, you got Quick. They got Spencer Martin on the roster right now because Shesterkin's on the IR. Are they going to claim another goalie? I don't see it. Ottawa Senators. Now, they just signed Reimer, right? They've got Linus Ullmark. Now, he's on the non-roster. They've got Hunter Shepard. They've got Levi Marilyn. They've already got 3 guys, plus Ullmark coming back. They don't need another goalie. So, no, not Ottawa. Now we get to the Philadelphia Flyers. Going through their team, they got Vladar's played great. That's been a really good signing for them. And Urson. I honestly couldn't tell you. I'd have to look it up who their number 3 goalie is now because they got rid of Fedotov. But you got to remember, if you claim the goalie, it's because you want to keep him on the NHL roster. They're not in any trouble. Pittsburgh Penguins, they got Skinner. They got Shilovs. They got lots of goalies. They're not going to go, I don't think, and get, they got, what's his name, Blomqvist, right? So Murashov, excuse me. So Pittsburgh, negative. San Jose Sharks, Askarov in goal, Nedeljkovic, their backup. They don't need a guy like Calvin Pickard at this point, right? So, and they also just acquired Laurent Brossoit. So definitely taking San Jose out of the mix. Seattle has their own 3 goalies. They had 3 goalies on the roster. Now, Murray's getting close to coming back. They've got Joy DeCourt. They got Grubauer. They're not doing it. Now, the St. Louis Blues goaltending has been not great. In Joel Holfer and Jordan Binnington, they make $9.4 million. Do they think Calvin Pickard's better than either one of those guys? Probably not. All right. And then they got the young kid, Romanov. I think they got a few other young guys, but to be honest, I don't know much about them to go any deeper. But on the NHL roster, they don't have injury issues. I don't see why they need him. Tampa Bay Lightning, no. You got Vasilevsky in goal. He's played unreal. Jonas Johansson, they kind of like him. And they've won 10 in a row. They're not taking Calvin Pickard. We're almost done. Thanks for bearing with me. Toronto Maple Leafs, they've got a lot of goalies with injuries, but they got Joseph Wall, they got Anthony Stolarz, and they got Dennis Hildeby. They don't need a 4th goalie. Stolarz is, the latest report was that he's getting closer, whatever the hell that means, right? But he's getting closer, so I don't see him do it. But Jamelka and Vanasek in Utah, so pretty solid there. They don't need him. We get to Vancouver. Now, you know that Demko's hurt again. They got Kevin Lankinen. They got the young guy, Tolopilo. Like, unless they feel like, you know what, we want Tolopilo to play in the minors. But honestly, if I'm Vancouver, if I'm worried, I'd rather keep him in the NHL. I want to improve my odds. of winning the lottery. Vegas Golden Knights. They've got Schmid. They've got Carter Hart. They got Lindblom. They got Aiden Hill on LTIR. They got a boatload of goaltenders. I don't see them doing it. So we're pretty much to the bottom of the league. Washington Capitals. They like their goaltending. Thompson, Charlie Lindgren. They're not going anywhere. They're both pretty healthy. They both don't have a track record of injuries. Nowhere. You got Eric Comrie and you got Hellebuck in Winnipeg. So honestly, which team is it? I'm sure Edmonton just did the exact thing that I did. And I understand that one team might do it. They might. But there's timings is a big deal in this. Right? If I'm the Edmonton Oilers, if I'm going to put Pickard on waivers over the next 4 days, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to look at the NHL schedule. And you put them on the morning of a day that has the fewest games, which would be Friday. Right? There's 5 games on Friday. San Jose, Detroit, Florida Hurricanes, Lightning, Blues, Predators, Avalanche, Kings, Ducks. Now, why do you do that? Because as of right now, I just went through all the teams. You don't see anyone that has a real, like, oh my goodness, they got a goalie problem. None. So if none of those teams have an injury on Friday night, by noon the next day, are they making a claim? Probably not. Right? There's some, now Saturday, you could wait, but Saturday has your odds of an injury, and it's a lot of timing. Guy gets injured on Saturday, well, Pickard cleared waivers at noon on Saturday. So you're out of luck. And I don't know if, like, I'll say this. The Oilers do have to be a little careful here because Tristan Jarry has more of an injury history than Stuart Skinner ever had. He just does. Now, he was only out, not that long, December 18th, less than a month since he got hurt. So it's not, he's never had like long-term injuries, but he's had injuries. So you do want a solid number 3 that you can put in and say, hey, this guy's going to give us a chance to win the NHL. So I get why they might be a little leery to risk Pickard. But it's hard to look and say, Connor Ingram, you're 4-2-1. You've had 6 out of 7 quality starts, and we're going to send you down? Like, that's a tough sell, man. That's a tough sell. I really think it is. Now, I get it's a business, and you can sit and explain it to Connor Ingram. He probably wouldn't like it, but at that point, there's nothing you can do. I just wouldn't do it. I think he deserves to stay. That's just me. Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Hey, Gregor, forgetting that a team might claim Pickard just to screw us from Aaron. Well, Aaron, how often does that happen? Number 1. Number 2, they have to have room on the roster, and then they have to have a player on the roster that they are able to just send to the minors without exposing to waivers. And then they have to be comfortable. Do we want 3 goalies around? There's a lot of I don't know if teams are like, we're going to screw the Oilers. I don't know if that happens as much as we like to think it does. People talk about it, but I don't see it happening. We'll come back. Dave McCarthy will join us on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
When picking a New Year's resolution, try to avoid things you have no influence over.
Like bringing home the cup? That would be awesome.
But completely outside your control. Instead, pick something you can control, like bringing home some Wilhauk beef jerky.
That would also be awesome. But what if we brought the cup home to Canada and it was filled with Wilhauk beef jerky?
Okay, I'll allow it.
Wilhauk beef jerky, only available in Leduc. Get yours today because you don't win cups with salad.
When the ground freezes, you wonder how anything can get done. And instead of staying outside in temperatures that would make a polar bear cry, you head inside where it's toasty and warm. But that's not what GS Construction does. Because while the ground freezes above, we plan below, rebuilding and revitalizing the systems that keep our communities working year after year. Now, don't worry. GS Construction promises to do everything safely and efficiently, and we'll wear our extra warm clothing outside. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth, fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
Planning your next event? Let Loca Quality Market cater. From made-to-order meals to gourmet platters to full chef tasting experiences, they make entertaining effortless. Visit loca.ca to start planning today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. We treat pain and injuries head to toe and some other issues that might surprise you, like incontinence, vertigo, neuropathy, and cognitive issues. We invest in the technology, techniques, skills, and people who know how and what to fix. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.325. Welcome back, Jason Gregor. Connor Howling, Declan Cougar, Sports 1440, Sports1440.ca. It's another game day. Got a lot of them this week, Oiler fans. Play yesterday, they played today, they played Thursday, they played Friday, Saturday, they play Sunday. It's a big run. That's really, it's the last tough stretch of the season for the Edmonton Oilers. And then after that, it is, now outside of the guys going to the Olympics, I mean, the Oilers only have two. The Oilers have a lot of rest between February 4th and the 24th. They get 20 days off. I know they'll practice, but no games. Probably take a week fully off to recoup and recover. Then they come back, and the Oilers, they don't have a really difficult schedule. In April, their season ends on the 16th. They only play 7 games in the first 16 days of April. In the 31 days in March, the Oilers only play 14 games. And February, as I mentioned, they play the 2. Then they come back, they have like 3 and 4. That's it. So they have an outstanding schedule. You get through this week, and you've got Nashville, who you've beaten up for fun for a long time. We'll see if that continues. And you got the Islanders. That's going to be a tough game. The Islanders are playing great. Schaefer, I can't wait to watch him in person. They got Sorokin, best goalie in the NHL right now. And then they got a weekend set against Vancouver and St. Louis. Neither team by any stretch is a dominant team. So you have a good week there. Then you can recover. You got all home games after that. Good chance to go on a little bit of a run here for the Edmonton Oilers. As we're going to go around the NHL now, brought to you by McDonald's. And you can stop in at McDonald's right now. Of course, they got the McValue menus going on, which is outstanding. $5. Who doesn't like a $5 meal? But also, we should mention that there's a little bit of a renovation going on in Sherwood Park. And so for those loyal eaters at the McDonald's on Baseline, it's closing for renovation. So if you get there before February 2nd, you'll get a discount card that's valid at other Sherwood Park locations during the closure. So there you go. You can check out, go get your discount card before February 2nd at the McDonald's on 590 Baseline Road. As we welcome in Dave A. McCarthy from Sirius XM. Davey, how you doing, my man?
Oh, I'm good, Jason. I have one question for you. Your key lime pie, straight fire. I was trying to find key limes in my part of Etobicoke last year around this time. Basically impossible. You have key limes in Edmonton?
Well, I know. I just use lime. I don't know if like they're key lime.
Oh, okay.
So, is there like a special key lime? Is that really different?
No, that's why they call it a key lime, right? It's not a key lime because the lime is integral to the pie.
Yeah.
Like key. No, they're like tiny little ones.
They're smaller ones, yeah. But
I
just
they're
use
hard to find, and I will tell you, they are just about impossible to squeeze because you're like the whole time. It takes you forever. They're maybe a little bit sweeter, but I was impressed by the pie. Outstanding stuff.
It's first time trying it, buddy. I was more impressed actually with my graham cracker crust.
I know. Didn't burn that like it was gold.
It didn't burn it. Ooh. And also made it thick enough because I was worried at first. I actually put a little bit more, like what it called for. I'm like, I got to put a little bit more in here because I wanted a base that wasn't, and it might have been probably, like, I don't know, maybe a 16th too thick if I'm being picky, but first time. Now I know what to do the next time, but it was good. Now for presentation, I know it called to put some little whipped cream on top, but I already had stuff in it. I'm like, I don't need more added sugar to it. So that's why I got off of that.
I agree. I'm not necessarily a big added whipped cream guy on the dessert because what that does is it masks the quality or lack thereof of the dessert. If the pie is good, which it looked, let the pie speak for itself. You don't need to slather it with whipped cream. You only put that on lousy pies, which yours was not.
Yeah. No, it was good. Looking at the NHL right now, the Nashville Predators have come like, man, they're almost the Undertaker because we all thought they were dead in the water. They were 6-12 and they'd won 6 their first 22 games. Steven Stamkos, people thought, oh my God, can they get anybody to take this guy at half price? And suddenly he's woke up. Now they do have their kryptonite, the Edmonton Oilers, who spanked them last Tuesday, and they play them again tonight. But are you buying that the Nashville Predators can be a legit playoff push, or is this just a little bit of a hot streak after a terrible start and you're not sure who they are?
I'm still not sure who they are. The only concern that I have with Nashville, or any team for that matter, that gets off to as poor a start to the season as Nashville did, or for instance, as Toronto did, it's not that they're not necessarily a good team or what their latest stretch to get them back to this position has suggested. It's just that they've already played their card of crap. Therefore, you basically have to go 60 games, 55 straight games of pure consistent play. You have no ability to have a little bit of a scuffle. And that's a long time to ask a team to go without having a little bit of a scuffle. The best teams will have them. I'm sure Colorado, I mean, you could argue they're kind of going through it right now. They're still playing unbelievably, but they're having a little bit of scuffle. They can afford it though, because they got off to such a great start. Nashville cannot afford a scuffle. Like if they lose 4 out of 6 games, like that could be it, right? Because they got teams to pass still. They got Utah to pass. They got LA to pass. Maybe San Jose. Anaheim's right behind them. Chicago's right behind them. All of those teams that are within, what are we looking at here? Like 3 points of Nashville, plus or minus. They're not all going to lose 4 of 6. And so invariably, a bunch of those teams will now open up a gap again. That's the only thing. They're playing good. This is probably their team right now. What's confounding is that it took them this long really to get it going, but they've now backed themselves up into a corner, because if they have that tough stretch, which they probably will, then it's not sustainable. So I'm impressed. I thought they would be where Vancouver and Winnipeg are right now. But do I see this sustaining? I'm not there yet with Nashville.
Montreal and Detroit. Are you confident to say guaranteed playoff teams?
Yeah, like I'm confident to say at least one of them is a guaranteed playoff team. Because you look at it and say, okay, well, who's going to catch them? Can Toronto catch one of them? Maybe. Could Toronto and Boston catch both of them? Unlikely. So I think for sure one of them will be a playoff team. Look, Montreal can score. They are a team that at this time of the year, offense masks a lot of issues. And by no means do I think they're a perfect team. I still have questions about their ability to defend consistently enough to go on a long run in the playoffs. They might be able to outscore their problems and get to a playoff spot. To go on a long run, they're not there for me yet until they show that they have the ability to defend consistently. So, like, they're probably both in. Like, I think so. Detroit, I wasn't sure what we were going to get from them coming into the year. They had a very poor start to the year, that first game, and then Todd McClellan read them the riot act and basically said, fellas, like, what are we expecting here if we don't change the way that we play? And to the group's credit, they have done that. And they've played pretty darn consistently ever since. So, yeah, I one for sure, probably both. I really do think that, because I just don't see Toronto and Boston and Florida. Like, I mean, Florida's lurking around. I don't see three of those teams catching both of those teams and going on such runs that both of them slide out. So, yeah, I think I'm probably going to say yes on that one. Dave
McCarthy from SiriusXM. Dave, I don't know. I'm sure you've seen the highlight. It did not look good for Braden Point. Getting taken down in front of the net. He instantly grabbed at his knee. And I sent a text out today to someone, and I just all the response was, I don't think it's good. So we'll see. Tampa Bay has been pretty hush. John Cooper, couldn't hide his disappointment really when talking about, because it's not only it's a big loss for Tampa Bay because Braden Point was starting to really pick up his game and play like the player we thought, but he knows how much the Olympics mean to these players, right? Like this is, and who knows, like, I'm not saying Point's old by any stretch of the imagination, but 4 years is 4 years. Lots can happen. Like he was a lock to be on this team, and in 4 years might not be. And so, that's what's so great and heart-wrenching about the Olympics. So let's pretend here, worst case scenario, he's out. So then you've got Sam Bennett, Connor Bedard, Wyatt Johnston, Mark Scheifele, Seth Jarvis. Who would you take to replace Braden Point? Not saying he'll automatically get in the lineup because they've got, 14 forwards already. But who do you think they would take? Like, did they look to a guy similar style than Point or totally different?
Yeah, it's a really good question. You're totally bang on about the anguish that I'm sure he's going through right now, and that potential of missing the Olympics. I was in Tampa Bay in 2014 when Steven Stamkos got hurt, and there was the kerfluffle about Marty St. Louis being left off the team. And then he ended up being the injury replacement. I was at that. It lives in my mind today, just how crazy it was. Stammer not being able to go, and then Marty St. Louis with a heartbreak of not making the team, and with, how much that would have meant, and then getting the call. It's wild. And you really feel for a guy like Braden Point, who's won a couple of Stanley Cups and had an opportunity to build upon his legacy with a gold medal. Like, you put yourself in a very elite group when you win Stanley Cups, but then when you add another one and then you add a gold medal, like, that is such a rarefied club. And now that appears to be in jeopardy. Look, Braden Point was probably going to be a guy on that team that was going to play in a bottom six role, right? Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon, if not them, Sidney Crosby. Like, there's three centers that Braden Point is behind. And so you're looking.
He was going to be a winger for sure. I think he was going to be McDavid.
Yeah, maybe. So, you look, and the thing with Braden Point is he had the flexibility, right? If you needed him to play center, he was there, but definitely could play the wing. So do you bring a guy that also has the ability to play center? Or do you look at a guy that is just primarily a winger? Playing with Connor McDavid's not easy, right? Like it seems counterintuitive to say, oh, it's easy to play with great players. It's not necessarily that easy, because Connor wants you where he expects you to be, so that he can do what he can do that nobody else can. Like, can Mark Scheifele play that role? I don't know. Like, I like Seth Jarvis a lot. I think his game is one where he's got speed. He is a predictable player in terms of what you're going to get out of him. He can go up and down the boards. He can get to spots where he can be an option for a pass. He's willing to go to the net to take traffic to the net, to open up some space high in the zone for McDavid to do his thing, or McKinnon or whomever it might be. And he's a no maintenance guy. Like his buddies from Winnipeg will probably hop on a boat if he gets on the team and take a 2-week journey and show up in Milan. Like, the guy's just the salt of the earth type of guy. So I got a lot of time for Seth Jarvis. He was an effective player on that Four Nations team. And I think his style is very similar to what they would be hoping for out of Brayden Point, outside of the fact that he can't really play center if need be. But because of the fact that John Cooper has the experience with Seth last year at the Four Nations, and he's shown himself to be a really, really quality player on a good team in Carolina. And for the role that they'd be looking for Brayden Point, I'd look to Seth Jarvis if Brayden can't come to the tournament.
Okay. This just coming down from John Cooper. We avoided worst case scenario. His season is not over, but he's week to week. So week to week, man, is very vague. And week to week, like you look at it, so we're basically a month away. February 12th is when Canada plays their first game at the Olympics. But you're going to have to be like fully up to speed, I would think, by February 5th, at least a week beforehand, right? To go to the Olympics. I could be wrong on that. But so he's kind of got 3 weeks. And week to week, like, man, that doesn't sound good for the Olympics.
To translate that jargon from coach to regular person, nothing is day to day. Day to day is 10 days. 10 days is a couple of weeks at minimum. Week to week generally means a month. It just does. So, and that's where you get into a really difficult conversation too with the player, where, you know, if it is a month, but he hasn't really got up and running yet, but he's ready to start getting up and running. So in other words, he feels good, but he hasn't had practices. He hasn't played at game speed in a month, but he feels good. Okay, is that healthy? Or not, right? Like, how do you tell a guy then who says he feels good but hasn't played hockey in a meaningful nature in a month that we need to replace you because you're not up to speed, even though you feel good? How do you have that conversation? That's such a tough one. So good news that his season's over, but that's right up against it. And look, I think if that is the case, the scenario that I just described, I think John Cooper will have trust in his guy that he will be able to get up and running very quickly and won't pull the carpet out from under him. But from a Canada standpoint, you are rolling the dice because maybe it takes him 10 days to really get going. And by, 10 days, you're kind of at the end of the tournament, or could be if he's not able to play at the level that you expect. So that's a really tough one. We'll have to monitor that. Good news, I guess, that he's not done for the season, but week to week doesn't sound great when you only have week to week to begin with.
Dave, since December 1st, Canadians, most goals, Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon, Zach Hyman. Just saying, Zach Hyman has already played a lot with McDavid. You don't need a lot of time to get him used to. Would not be a shocker for me to say, hey, you know what? Celebrini and Hyman could play with McDavid. Would not be a bad option at all. I would say that. Quickly, Dave, Connor McDavid, 44 points in 19 games. That's a 189-point pace in a full season. He has, he's going into Nashville where he's got a 16-game point streak against the Preds going himself. Meanwhile, the only guy better than him is Leon Draisaitl, who beats the Preds for fun. But what do you make of this point streak for McDavid right now?
What do I make of it? It's crazy what this guy's doing on a nightly basis. Like every night, there's one of those highlights where I see it and I can do nothing but laugh to myself, because who does that? In a way, it's actually surprising to know that he's at a career high and that he's never had longer, because it seems like of anyone in the league who just gets points automatically, I'd say Connor McDavid and Nikita Kucherov. Like every night you look at the score sheet when their teams play, you're shocked when you don't find them. Points just follow them around. So, what the guy has done over the last 18 games has been insane. Not just the productivity, but the type of productivity. He's scoring goals in ways that you just don't see scored very often. It almost seems like they've created a play in Edmonton where he has become like a running back that starts in the I formation and comes with a full head of steam, takes a handoff in the neutral zone, and then busts through a hole, and before you know it, he's in alone. How many times have we seen that play this year? And that seems like a new element where you do it in the past at times, but it just seems like they've refined that so perfectly. What he's doing has been amazing, and I'm still of the mind that if I had to vote today, Connor McDavid would get my vote for the Hart, just ever so slightly ahead of Nathan McKinnon. But I think it's going to be a really, really tight race going down the stretch. Like it kind of has. I just watched a documentary the other day. It kind of has that Maguire Sosa-esque home run chase in 1998, where Mark would hit a couple and then Sammy would hit three, and then we go back and forth. That's what I'm doing right now with the Oilers and Colorado. I'm looking, Connor had three. He's jumped ahead. Now Nate had 2 goals and 2 assists. Every night it's back and forth, and I don't see that coming to an end till the end of the year. I think it's going to be an incredible race in the Art Ross race down the stretch. But what McDavid is doing is just he's a special. I don't have to tell anybody that's listening right now, but appreciate it while we see it, because this is truly spectacular.
Davey, great stuff, buddy. Have yourself an awesome day.
Thanks, buddy. I'll see you soon.
There you go. That's Dave A. McCarthy from SiriusXM. Take a quick break. We will return with Cam Tate and the 2-minute warning.
Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit FountainTire.com today.
Clear out the old and make room for new trends. The Brick is holding their store-wide inventory clearance event. Scratch and dent, last year's models, and overstock is up to 70% off. Score mattresses starting at just $99. Sofas starting at just $3.99, and dining chairs starting at just $28. And this Friday to Monday, check out incredible 4-day deals, like save the tax when you buy 2 or more eligible major appliances. Check out The Brick in Edmonton with 4 locations. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit? No credit? We got you. Text check to 780-777-7777. That's check to 780 all sevens. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
Do you sit around at work listening to sports radio all day? That's right, my friend. There's no shame in it. It's the good life. And we're not here to snitch. Say, if your company advertised on Sports 1440, you could be the one listening for your company's ad every day. Now you've got an excuse to listen to Sports 1440 all day. It's part of the job. Sounds like someone's getting a promotion. Email Gregor at sports1440.ca and let's get to work for you.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So, when you wake up to no heat, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If you need it immediately with no overtime rates. If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
I put a spell on you. Because you're mine.
Portions of this hour brought to you by eWell. Get your power play amped up with eWell, supplying the City of Champions and Alberta with quality electrical gear since 1975. eWell.ca is your partner in power.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We continue on Tuesday afternoon, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. It's the Gregor Show as always. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, casino, live dealer, lottery, instance, you name it. They got it all in one place. And all the revenue stays right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. Hope you are having an awesome Tuesday evening. Or afternoon, soon to be evening. Oilers in Nashville to take on the Predators. Jake Wallman and Tristan Jarry have both been activated from LTIR, which makes me assume they're both going to play. I guess there's a chance you wouldn't play Jarry, but why would you activate him from LTIR? I don't understand why you would do that. So I'm going to guess they're ready to play, but we'll see. He was practicing with the team before they left, so I got to assume that maybe he's ready. Like, why would you activate him and just put him as the backup when you have two other goalies on the roster? Unless there was an injury last night. Dun, dun, dun. But I don't think so. So Connor Ingram looked great in that game, played very well, actually. So did Spencer Knight. That was a rare game where that game could have had at least 10 goals if it wasn't for the goaltending. Ingram made lots of big stops. Like the Oilers, it wasn't the cleanest game by them defensively last night, but Ingram came up with some big stops again. So it's good news. Let's get to the 2-minute warning now, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace. Stay warm all winter. LegacyHeating.ca. Cam Tate, a longtime journalist in town. Cam, of course, born with cerebral palsy. Cam's in a wheelchair. Doesn't let him slow him down. 45 years in the industry, and he's always wanted to be in radio. And now, the wonders of technology, Cam's words come to life in the 2-minute warning.
We're dedicating this week of the 2-minute warning to the legacy of John Short, who loved covering minor sports. John passed away 2 years ago. It might have been cold Friday and Saturday night over at Cattail Crossing Golf Club, and we're talking cold. But nobody out there seemed to care. Parents stood around clutching their coffee cups, trying to keep their hands warm. And out on what used to be the driving range, there they were. 20 mini rinks carved into a frozen pond. No boards, no glass, no fancy arena. Just hockey the way it used to be, with small hay bales marking the sides of the pond. The U9 kids were out there having the time of their lives. This was Quick Card Edmonton Minor Hockey Week, and someone had a brilliant idea. Give these kids something they'd never forget. Jason Wawad runs the golf club. He gets it. That experience as a kid, being outdoors and playing hockey on the pond, just chatting with the parents, he said, that's what they love most. And watching those kids skate around on that frozen pond, their breath hanging in the cold air, their parents stomping their feet to stay warm, you could tell he was right. This was the kind of story John Short would have loved to tell. And we ran an X poll. Not to be confused, of course, with the X-Files. 82% said they thought the pond hockey idea is a great idea. And I need some more help. Need more Minor Hockey Week stories. Please email cam@sports1440.ca. Again, cam@sports1440.ca. All names go into a draw to be my guest in the press box at an Oilers game 2-minute warning. Gregor Haley, Kruger, who recently told me, with conviction, he'll only come to an Oilers game if he can change the channel on the TV where I sit to college football. Me, Tater, Sports Cheddar Padsmit Cheddar Desmit.
I don't even know what the last part meant. Cons, did you catch that part? The sign off?
Something about cheddar.
Yeah, cheddar cheddar schmetter misprint. Like, you got me there, man. Now I'm intrigued. I have no idea. I was right. I was on everything. And then I just kind of like, what? Might have to replay that part of it, but maybe Declan knows. Declan brought some food into the studio there during the last commercial break, and all of a sudden there's like wafting, and it smells quite good in the studio. And now suddenly you're hungry. Like, you know what? Like, keep a lid on that stuff. I don't want to smell it. I'm doing the show. Now I want to eat.
Do you want to hear what Tater said there at the end there?
Yeah.
Cheddar pads something?
Sports Cheddar Padsmit Cheddar Desmit.
Cheddar Padsmit Cheddar. What the hell is that, Tater? Is that a word I've never heard before? Like cheddar schmetter? Is that what he's trying to? Is that what he's trying to suggest there? I don't know. Do you know what the word is, Cons?
No, but you were gone once, and there was about a 5 or 6 second clip at the end of one of his 2-minute warnings, and it was just gibberish. It was really funny. We replayed it a bunch of times. We had some fun with it, but I think that's just technology failing Tater there.
Okay, all right.
But he'll email me, I'm sure, let me know.
Yeah, that would be nice. So we'll see what happens. A lot of texts flying in. Man, this show has just flown by. Coming up in the next hour, we got Speck and Struds joining us as we preview a little bit more of the Oilers into Nashville. Connor McDavid doing things we've actually never. Strange to say, but what Connor McDavid's doing now, you've never even seen before, and you've seen Connor McDavid at a pretty good level, but never like this. Never had 44 points in 19 games ever, and he has a chance to become the 4th active player to have a point streak of 20 games or more. But his point totals in that streak, like Crosby had 50 points during his streak. It was 25 games. McDavid could go 1 point a game in the next 6 and get to 25 games and tie Crosby because he's got 44 in 19. Like, Crosby was 2 points a game and McDavid's way higher. Right now, McDavid, of all the players who have had a point streak of 19 or more games, the only player with a higher points per game during a streak was Gretzky. Now, he had 7 different streaks higher. But now Lemieux went 46 games, so it's hard. I totally understand. It is harder to maintain a 2.4 points per game pace over 46 games compared to 19 games. So I'm well aware of that. But to the start of this, through 19 games and 44 points, it's been a hell of a run by Connor McDavid. A hell of a run. So I think it was Gretzky and Lemieux are the only 2 guys who had a point streak where they had more through 19 games. And then Lemieux obviously, ended up with 103 points in 46 games. Not bad. Not bad at all. Gretzky had 108 in 39 games. And then he had a ridiculous 153 in his 51 game streak. It would be fun to see McDavid, like, even just try to get to 30. It's only ever happened 5 times, and Gretzky has 3, and then Lemieux has 1, and Matt Sundin had. How about this? Matt Sundin had a 30-game point streak. Do you know how many points he had in his 30 games, Cons?
No.
46. So McDavid, let's say he gets 2 points tonight. He'll be at 20 games, but the same amount of points as Sundin had in 30 games. Like, that's how productive McDavid's been on this streak. That it would have 10 fewer games, but have the same amount of points that Sundin had when he had his 30 game. So it would be like the numbers drop off significantly when you get to the point streak record, right? Like it's a big drop off. As I mentioned, when he got to 18 earlier in the week, that was the 70th time someone had been to 18. Last night, he got to 19. That drops down to 43. Tonight, if he gets to 20, it drops down to 32. And then if it gets to let's say, after that, it drops off every time. If he gets to 21, now it's down to 26 and so on. And so you get to 25 and there's only been 16 of them. You get to 30, there's only 5 of them. Like, the numbers drop off pretty substantially here with every passing day for McDavid. So you're seeing something that's pretty fun that you just do not see very often. And man, I hope he gets to 30. And then, because if he gets to 30, after that, it's going to be a big deal every game. Because nobody, like, the last time somebody got to 30 was in 1993. That was Sundin as a member of the Quebec Nordiques. 31, you'd have to go back to 1990. Marilyn Lemieux. Gretzky's streaks came in 83, 84, and 86 when he had the 30, 39, and 51 gamers. So, could be pretty special, man. I hope it happens. It'd be fun. It'd be very fun. Let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Loca. Your next dinner is ready. Very easy. Meals.loca.ca. Chef-crafted meals you like to eat and then get delivered right to your door for as low as under $10 a serving. Check it out. Meals.loca.ca. I've had some and I'm telling you, they are delicious. I love it. Meals.loca.ca.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Game day once again. The Oilers down in Nashville looking to make it 2 straight as they take on the Preds. Puck drop just after 6. Our pregame coverage with Gregor, Walker, Paulson, and Landon Ferraro gets going at 5 right here on Sports 1440. Off the ice, the Oilers making a couple moves, activating goaltender Kristen Jarry and defenseman Jake Wallman from the LTIR, also placing forward Adam Henrique on the LTIR, and moving goaltender Connor Anker from the emergency recall status to regular recall. Elsewhere around the NHL tonight, you got the Islanders in Winnipeg, Mammoth hosting the Maple Leafs. Stars take on the Anaheim Ducks, Blues, Hurricanes, Bruins, Red Wings, Flames in Columbus, Caps host Canadiens, Lightning in Pittsburgh, and the Sens will take on the Vancouver Canucks in the association this evening. Spurs in OKC, Pelicans host the Nuggets, Bulls meet the Rockets, and the Heat taking on the Suns. Pittsburgh Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin stepping down after 19 seasons with the organization. Tomlin had 2 years remaining on his contract and informed his players earlier today. With the departure, the Steelers began their coaching search. This is the 4th time since 1969. And in Los Angeles, Chargers bring offensive coordinator Greg Roman. Eagles doing the same with their OC, Kevin Patullo. CCHL action, Brooks and Okotoks at 7. And at 5, PWHL, Ottawa, and Montreal. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet, former NHLer Jason Strudwick, and the last 5 questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at
3 o'clock,
Sherbrooke
how are you?
Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only.
We continue
Sherbrooke
on
Liquor. Wine,
Tuesday
spirits,
after
and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The new double cheesy melt at McDonald's.
We're
talking
30
two juicy, mouth-watering 100% Canadian beef patties, 2 slices of cheesy goodness, with even more melty, cheesy sauce on top. Topped with pickles, then crispy and grilled onions. The way it all comes together, you don't just eat it, you melt into it. The double cheesy melt, only at McDonald's. For a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance. When you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
The BCHL All-Star Game is coming to the Thompson Family Arena in Spruce Grove. The league's best players will go head-to-head in 2 exciting games, January 16th and 17th. The BCHL College Prospects Game takes place on Friday, January 16th at 7 p.m., while the premier matchup will see Canada take on the world on Saturday, January 17th at 7:30 p.m. For ticket inquiries and excellent group ticket packages, go to tickets.sgsaints.ca.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Happy New Year! I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you for everything in 2025. With your help and your support, we fed almost 500 families. We donated to various charities in the Edmonton area, and we're going to do it again in 2026. Please stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. It's Terrific Tuesday. Get 40% off any regular priced pizza when you use code word 40Tuesday at the start of each pizza order at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
Just after 4 o'clock, as you get ready to make your way home, Oilers taking on the Nashville Predators tonight. And that will be, what is that, 6 o'clock? Wow, let's be honest, closer to 6:15 puck drop, Edmonton time tonight. We have the pregame show coming up at 5 o'clock with Andrew Walker joining us here on the show. Oilers are in Nashville. Busy night in the NHL. Games that kind of impact the Oilers, I would think, in the West has, well, really, the Ducks, I guess. You know, the Stars, although I'm not, unless you're thinking Ducks could do Edmonton a favor, and then Edmonton still could catch Dallas for point, which they could, right? Like, what are they, 8 back of Dallas? Like, it's not a monumental one, especially when I've outlined the Oilers schedule after this week. You get into next week, and the Oilers' schedule is one of the most favorable schedules in the NHL. From rest to games played to opponents, everything else, to travel. It's one of the best schedules down the stretch. So you get through this week, and they could be looking real good if they take advantage of it. If. It's a big if. But it's right there. It is the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Casino, live dealer, lottery, instance. They got it all. They got the Lotto Max tonight, $14 million, and the Jason Gregor Show daily specials. Check it out at PlayAlberta.ca. We've been pretty good on them, I have to say. Although last night, missed out on our parlay, which was being the Oilers winning after the first, and McDavid 4 shots. It just came shy of that one. First time in a while. So I expect McDavid to shoot even more tonight against the Preds, because for whatever reason, God, they dominate Nashville. And they walk in to that arena. Like, you're Leon Draisaitl, you're walking in and you're just cock of the walk in there. Like, hey, what's happening? 13 goals, 21 points, my last 7 games here. He's feeling pretty good about himself. Connor McDavid, he's rolling. He's flying right now. And I've seen nothing to suggest he's slowing down. So I hope he gets to game 20 and maybe to game 30. And who knows after that. It'd be a wild ride to see how long he can go. Let's get to the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists. Taking care of the neighborhoods and the roadways just so we can function. GS Construction is Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet. Joins us. Spec, good afternoon. How you doing?
Doing all right. How you doing, man?
How was skiing?
Well, I'm, you know what? I've learned early in my career here skiing that it's the end of the day when you're tired that you get injured. When you ski too long, you go, oh, take another round. So out of abundance of caution, I'm reporting to you from the Caribou Lounge right now.
What a sacrifice, Spec. What a sacrifice you made. Geez, I feel a little tired. Oh, can we have a beer up here? Okay. Yes. Well, it's a veteran move. Move. How are the conditions?
Oh, unbelievable. Really, really, really strong. I've skied in Alberta for a long time, and I'm not sure it's ever been better than this. So, lovely couple days skiing in Marmot. Jay, we'll have to, Kevin Carius was talking about it. We are going to put something together. He says, we got to come up, go skiing together. And I said, well, we could put, like, Duke can drive his motorhome. Kevin has a little motorhome, right? Have you ever seen it? How big is it?
Well, it's not big enough to fit all of us, I don't think.
We'll put some listeners in there.
Right? Take Specs deck on the road.
Yeah.
Oof.
Let's take Specs deck out to Marmot. Let's do a little ski trip up here.
Oh, I think we'd have some listeners do a ski trip. That would be actually fun.
Oh, it'd be a ton of fun. Let's do it. We can finally put Carius to rest. He's a Saskatchewan guy who thinks he can ski. So,
well, they got little bunny hills out in Saskatchewan.
They got little bunny hills up there. Yeah, exactly. So it would be probably good to put him out in the hill. I don't know what that farmer Brandon, if he can make some turns or not. But
well, he likes to ski. He likes to ski in jeans, so I'm not holding out much hope.
He's in jeans, right? Well, let's do some. Let me come up here and do the show from up here. What the hell?
Yeah, hey, we could plan it. That'd be fun. Spec, let's get to Jake Wallman. We all knew was coming off the LTIR. He's going to play tonight, and he is. But so Tristan Jarry, I assume he's starting, right? Like, why else would you bring him off LTIR if he's not starting?
No, I totally agree with you. I think if you only activate him because he's going to start. So my prediction, I don't have Chris Nalbach's going to speak. Geez, probably any minute now, actually, or maybe about 4:30 our time, I think. But anyway, the coach will tell us for sure pretty quick. But I can't think of any other reason you're going to bring him off that he's going to play tonight. Jarry will start tonight, and now we have about, I think, as I read. Our good friend Hart Levine at Puckpedia, I believe that they have basically 5 days to figure out what to do with Connor Ingram. Is that correct?
Well, they would have after today 4 more days if they're like, you know what, we can put him in the minors without requiring waivers. After that, once he's on the roster for 30 days, then he would require waivers. So they have 4 days to make that choice. Now, you could, because they have the cap space, they could just keep 3 goalies. All it means is, you know what? After the Olympic break, when Adam Henrique is, going to be ready, and who knows when he's going to be ready, but let's just say it was February 24th. Well, they'd have to make a decision by that point if they want to carry 3 or what. But I went through every team in the NHL today, Spec.
Okay.
And I went through every team, and I looked at their goalie situation. And I don't see an obvious one. Some people mentioned Philadelphia, and I was like, okay, but they've got 2 healthy goalies right now. And Dan Vladar has played great, right? So unless they're all of a sudden thinking that now Samuel Ersson is, you know what?
I don't think he can play.
Yeah. And so do they think Pickard's an upgrade? That was the only team where I was like, you know what? Maybe. Right. And they've got Kolozov in the minors, so they could probably try to switch him there. But that was really the only one. Right. San Jose just acquired a goalie in Brossoit. Detroit just signed Reimer. Now Carolina has, I guess they could add Pickard and carry 3 goalies, so it's not outside the question because they were carrying 3 before. And then funny enough, they'd have to put Noah Philp on waivers because they have a 23-man roster right now. Right. So there are some options, yes, but Ingram is clearly he played excellent last night. Excellent.
Oh boy.
So
yeah, really
And not that Pickard's, being awful, but he hasn't been as good as Ingram by any metric, any statistic, any advanced analytic you use. He hasn't been as good. So this is professional sports. Don't you got to keep the best goalie?
Well, you do. You do have to keep the best goalie, but this is the issue for me, Jason, is Jari and his health. The worst possible scenario is you lose Pickard and then Jari gets hurt. And now what do you got? Now you got Ingram and who? A minor league goalie, right? Matt Tompkins, I guess, would be your guy, and he's played some games in the NHL, but Matt Tompkins isn't near as good as Calvin Pickard. There's no one would say he is. So all the things you say are true. The Pickard's, he's the number 3 here. I get that. Ingram is really positive. The whole Ingram thing, you picked him up for nothing. Utah's paying $800,000 worth of his salary, and you took a chance on the guy, and he's repaying you by very much looking like that guy that had a .907 save percentage for 2 years in a row in Arizona. This guy, I'm here to tell you, we might have the conversation over who starts game 1 of the playoffs. If Ingram keeps improving, we might be wondering if whether it's Jari or Ingram starts game 1 of the playoffs. I mean, we're going down the road. My point is, he's been freaking awesome, everything you could ask for. However, Jari's health tells me I can't lose Pickard. I can't lose Pickard. So if I got to send Ingram to the minors for 2-3 weeks and get him to play a whole bunch down there, then that's probably what I'm going to do if I'm the GM. What about you?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I you know what I would do, Spec? I think I would just carry 3 goalies for the time being.
Okay.
That's what I would do.
Okay. I get that.
Yeah. Protect. And I'll tell you right now, Ingram and Pickard, Kevin Woodley said it. He goes, if you ask 2 of them, you want them both in the NHL or one in the American League? And they say, you don't know which one of you it's going to be. They're both going to say, let's stay in the NHL, right? It's not ideal. I understand that, but it's still better than the alternative for those guys. You're still around, you're taking shots in the NHL, right? Your guys are going to start, somebody's going to back up, and away you go. So, because keep in mind, so now that Jari's healthy, you look and say, well, maybe he plays tonight and he plays again on Thursday. And then Ingram plays 1 game on the weekend. Well, that's, you know what? And I know, well, then he's 8 games. He's over 30 days. He's on the roster. And then you don't really worry about it. And you know what? Maybe someone else gets injured. Maybe someone gets nicked up. And, who knows? Maybe you can trade a goalie for a third string goalie in the American League, right? There's other options you can do. You don't have to rush into it because of it, right?
No, you gotta keep your powder dry on this whole thing. But the biggest if and the biggest question is the total unknown. That's Jari's health. The only reason you and I are talking about this at length is because we don't know that Jari's going to stay healthy the rest of the year. If it was Stu Skinner and he's always healthy, we wouldn't be having this conversation. You just go, oh, well, we got Skinner and we got Ingram, and I guess we'll send Pickard down if we do some big deal. We don't need him. That's not the situation. So, listen, Stan Bowman's well aware of all this. They're going to keep kicking that can down the road. They're going to wait as long as they can before they make a serious decision. And at that point, I guess if a guy lost Pickard on waivers, you just say, oh, well, I hope Jarry stays healthy and let's go. In the end, and I'll finish here. In the end, we started the season with Skinner and Pickard, and nobody liked that goaltending tandem, okay, in Edmonton. And now you got Jarry and Ingram. I think you're better, don't you?
Well, we'll see in the playoffs. Until you get to the playoffs, you don't know. I think, yes, as a tandem, yes, I would say they're better. But neither one of them has faced the pressure of the playoffs. So, are they better in the playoffs? I can't answer that question until we see the playoffs. So that's the way I look at it.
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah. So that's kind of how I would view it for sure. Mark Spector joins us. Spec, last night I actually thought Ingram played very well. Like, so did Spencer Knight. Like, that could have been a game that had 10 goals. There was lots of chances. Oilers, I think at one point they'd given up 6 shots, but 3 of them were like point blank. Ingram played well, and the Oilers, they got a little lucky break on the second goal, and they just couldn't beat Knight clean really all night long, despite having a lot of great looks. And I will say this, I thought the fourth line last night was excellent.
Yeah, that's as good a night as Fredericks had in a long time for sure. So Frederick comes off of that. He comes off of that game where he has the fight and everyone says, hey, his fight helped spur us to a victory. Way to go, way to go. And he sort of gets a little bit of confidence. Last night, I thought he was really good. I think Lazar is kind of establishing himself here as a pretty viable fourth line center. Now, the question I have, Jay, is I think, and you're going to agree with me here, I think Adam Henrique's a fourth line center too. So,
oh yes, I agree with you on that wholeheartedly.
Yeah. So I think, if Lazar keeps getting better, you're going to have 2 fourth line centers, and you're still going to need a third line center somehow, some way, somewhere. So I'm not sure where all that ends up.
Yeah, well, that's down the road. We'll see, how healthy Henrique is, and what you're going to move guys in and out. And hey, if Curtis Lazar has to move to the right wing, and like the Oilers roster is still far from a finished product. Right. You might end up having to move somebody out when you bring in a trade, right? Like, they've moved guys out, Spec. If you want to bring in some money, you got to send some money out. The Oilers don't have cap space to just add players for nothing. Right?
No.
So they're going to, we know that Andrew Mangiapane is probably going out at some point, and they might have to move out. Like, Mangiapane goes out just to get Henrique back in the lineup. Then if you want to add somebody else, then somebody else has got to go out as well during trades. And we've seen that the Oilers have added guys to deals, going back to even when, get rid of William Lagesson just so you get Brett Kulak on the roster, right? So I would expect something like that will happen down the road.
William Lagesson, there you go.
Yeah.
There's a guy that a lot of people fretted over when they lost William Lagesson, and in the end, he never played, did he?
I sure as hell didn't.
He never played.
No.
Good kid, nice guy, but he never played. He wasn't an NHL player, was he?
No. Didn't have the boots to do it, unfortunately. Looking at last night's game, Spec, Connor McDavid, 2 points, gets it over with quickly in that game, flying around. Wasn't his most dominant game of the streak, but he's not like every game he just enters more uncharted territories with smaller and smaller groups of players.
That's it. And he's just such a, these streaks that go on forever. I'd love to dissect that 51-game Gretzky streak. Like, I'm sure there were, back in Gretzky's day, when he only had 2 points, it didn't even make your copy as a hockey writer. Like, a 2-point night for Gretzky was just an average night. So I'm sure there was a bunch of nights in that 51-game streak where he wasn't a star, right? He wasn't a star in the game, and that's just the way it is. But I'll tell you what, it's a testament to consistency. It's a testament to a guy that chips in on 1 or 2 goals every single night. We're 19 games in that McDavid's been helping his team win. Like, that's what makes you a good player, man, is you contribute every single night. And that's what Connor McDavid.
Yeah, he's not bad. What's unique about Gretzky's streak, Spec, is I think a lot of people forget it was the first 51 games of the year, right?
Yes,
he started the season on a 51 game scoring streak. And I'm actually looking it up as we speak.
That's
1,
awesome.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. He had 12, 13 games where he had 1 point. And the crazy thing is that LA game, then he didn't get a point against the LA Kings. And then he reeled off, I think it was something like 18 points in his next 5 games, for goodness sakes.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
he had a busted up shoulder at the end. Like the last 6 or 7 games of that streak, his shoulder was in terrible shape, is my recollection.
Yeah.
But I mean, it really, the thing that made it so cool was he was pressing up against Ted Williams' 56-game hitting streak. And, like, it's crazy to think that two completely different sports would mesh together that way, but that's what it was. It was Gretzky chasing Ted Williams, man. Ted Williams, not DiMaggio. Ted Williams, I think, had the 56-game streak. But anyway, what fun that was. We're so far away from that. Like, we're talking, 19 games here. Let's check in 20 games later. Like, 51's the longest. What's the second, third kind of longest?
Yeah. It was Joe DiMaggio, I think, had the 56-game hitting streak.
I'm sorry, Joe DiMaggio.
Yeah, Teddy Williams hit 400.
That's right. He hit 400. Excuse me, I'm wrong on that. Apologize.
Yeah, Gretzky had 51. Mario Lemieux had 46. But Mario had 103 points in 46 games. Gretzky had 153 in 51 games. It's wild. He had 50 more points in 5 more games. Crazy. And then Gretzky had a 39-game streak, and then him and Sundin each have 30. Those are the top 5.
Okay, so until we get to 30, we're not even breaking a ton of, it's not breaking a lot of new ground. So he's 2/3 of the way there, almost. If he gets a point tonight, it's 20, right?
Yeah, he gets a point. To me, he gets to 25. You're like, okay, I'm starting to watch, because there's just not many guys who even get to 25, right? Like,
let's do it.
Like the numbers really start. Like, Spec, there was 70 streaks of 18 games. McDavid's is now the 43rd of 19. If he gets to 20, it drops down to 32. Like, it drops pretty quick here every game.
Okay, there you go. So, what fun! Like, this would be a lot of fun. Let's, it's a ton of pressure, but hey, listen, it's the middle of the season, and we've got a lot of games going on. This would make it throw some spice into the year, man. Let's do it. I love the fact that we're watching every game now to see if McDavid can get his point.
Oh yeah, it's fun.
And chances are they're going to get points against Nashville, because the Oilers load up on Nashville every time they play them.
Yeah, I know that people will say, well, eventually it's not going to happen, and that might be right, but might not be tonight, though. I'd still I'd go to playalberta.ca and look at McDavid getting some points. We actually have a few of those right there. So, Spec, enjoy the lodge. Drive safe tomorrow, and we'll see you at the rink on Thursday.
Sounds good. Thanks, Jake.
There you go. It's Mark Spec to the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. When we come back, Jason Strudwick. Now, Struddy watched the game last night. Might have shed a tear when he was watching Levshunov battling for 5 straight minutes. Struddy's shift, just like that, Connor Halley, out the window. Out the window. Levshunov was on for 5 minutes plus, didn't give up a goal. Struddy, we might have to give him play-by-play of that, remembering his shift in Detroit. Next on The Gregor Show, presented by playalberta.ca.
Think your credit's not good enough for a new ride? Think again. Go Auto's car loan calculator is here to help. No commitments, no credit hits, just real answers. You tell us a few things, and we'll show you what you can afford. Text credit to 780-777-7777. That's credit to 780 all sevens. Go Auto. We do the math, so you can do the driving.
New Year's resolutions. We all make them. We all say we're going to start eating healthier, or going to the gym, or starting that new hobby. But at GS Construction, we actually follow through on our New Year's resolution, because it's the same every year. We promise to set the groundwork, literally, for another year of progress and growth. And we've stuck by that resolution since 1974. So start that all-you-can-eat diet. GS Construction is going to start planning right now for the year ahead. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Clear out the old and make room for new trends. The Brick is holding their store-wide inventory clearance event. Scratch and dent, last year's models, and overstock is up to 70% off. Score mattresses starting at just $99, sofas starting at just $3.99, and dining chairs starting at just $28. And this Friday to Monday, check out incredible 4-day deals, like save the tax when you buy 2 or more eligible major appliances. Check out The Brick in Edmonton with 4 locations. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
If you're looking for nonstop sports coverage, tune into Sports 1440.
Edmonton's only sports radio station.
24/7 coverage comes at you with expert commentary, in-depth analysis,
And so much more.
We are Sports 1440.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's with a $6 one-top medium when you order any large specialty at regular menu price. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Looking for the perfect gift? Give the gift of great taste with a Loca Quality Market gift card. Redeemable at any Loca Quality Market or Loca operated restaurant. It's a treat for food lovers. Ready anytime. Grab yours today at loca.ca.
I'm Grant Fedork from Leading Edge Physiotherapy, and people who suffer brain fog might think it's just going to be part of their life. But listen, I've seen a 38-year-old mom managing a concussion read her kid a bedtime story without losing the plot. All because of cognitive rehab that rewires the brain like a GPS reboot. Your brain isn't broken, it's buffering. One missed beat in focus, memory, or balance snowballs into frustration, falls, or forgotten keys. Stroke, concussion, long COVID, even aging can all lead to brain fog. Cognitive rehab works. Check us out at leadingedgephysio.com before your next "where'd I put my phone" moment.
If you change your mind, take a chance. I'm the chance. Take a chance. Honey, I'm free.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Did you know that Japa offers in-house and on-site heavy equipment service? Rain or shine, Japa's service department is here for you. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk
And beyond.
This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.430. We welcome yourself back to the Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, as well as streaming. For those watching on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, maybe you come back and you can watch the show. We have people texting in, hey, I love about the YouTube is if I get a little bit late, I can just rewind it and watch it live. Well, there you go. It's fantastic. It's almost like a PVR for you, so that's nice. Check it out. All brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. As it's time to get to Struds On, brought to you by Action Electrical. 53 years. They've grown, evolved, and emerged as one of the most diversified electrical contractors in the province. You want to work for an unbelievable company, great family values, they have lots of fun. They're not very good golfers, but everything else, it's really good at. Send your resume, careers at actionelectrical.net.
The Jason Gregor Show presents Struds On.
I don't believe in tea bags. I use loose leaf tea. It is so much better than the tea bags. I'll eat tea bags. I'll
Struds On.
I'm not a huge DJ guy. I mean, I guess if you hand me a couple glow sticks and a tight white t-shirt that I can get wet, maybe I'd be into it.
Struds On.
There's a lone steakhouse I used to go to down in Kentucky, and they had bowls of peanuts. I wasn't sucking on those ones. You need to have clean nut. I'm talking about the kind you get in a bag at an Elks game. You know what I mean?
It's time for Struds On.
Struddy, how you doing, my man?
Tip top. What's up with you, big guy?
Oh, Struddy, I was watching the game last night, and as I was watching Levshunov battle and grind it out for 5 minutes, I could just I remember laughing about you at the bench. screaming at your teammates, let me get off the ice. And now the difference was he kind of got set up in his own zone where they couldn't get out. It was a long change in the second period. But as you're watching that, was there a tear in your eye knowing that now his shift is longer than this?
Yeah, you know what? Actually, I saw online, someone told me the longest shift ever is 6 minutes. Now, I don't know if that's continuous, that 6 minutes, but mine was continuous. So it's pretty incredible. You start watching and, I see a minute and a half. That's not outrageous. 2 minutes. Okay, he's getting there. You start creeping up 3, 4, then you get to 5. That's a long time out there because you have an internal clock. Every NHL player has an internal clock. Even a beer leaguer, when you start getting around that minute mark, it's probably time to go back to the mothership.
Oh, yeah. Well, you could tell he wanted to get off, but he couldn't get off the ice. Right? It was just like he had no energy. And, the Oilers, now somebody raised the question, would he have been better off? Because he couldn't move anyway. The minute they dumped the puck out, he might as well just said, screw it. I'm going to go. We can play shorthanded for 6 seconds and get someone on the ice because you play shorthanded for 2 minutes all the time.
Yeah, and you do see guys when they break their stick, they'll go and change, right? They'll go grab a stick and come back because you're not as effective. But yeah, it's hard because it's not very often that you see a player take unwillingly that longest shift. So it's not like the coach is like, hey guys, before the game, if you get trapped out there for 5 minutes, yeah, that's right, a quarter of the period, feel free to change. It's not really in the coach's manual prior to the game.
Yeah, I know a coach who had a kid who always took long shifts.
Yeah.
And finally in a game, kid came off the change and goes, no, stay out there. Kept him out for like 6 minutes.
Right.
Basically, because you could only ask so many times. Said, no, you're more important. You just keep staying out there. No, stay out there, and then you'll figure it out.
Yeah, and they do. I mean, the young kids, you're trying to get them to understand that the value of going hard for shorter and all that stuff. But it is funny because what I would have loved to have been on the Hawks bench because the guys would have been going crazy. The famous line, open up the other tank, get the other oxygen tank going, big guy. Like you'd just be yelling out there, right? Trying to get them all fired up. And you would laugh about it because it's so rare. It's so rare. So, and Connor McDavid will take a long, a lot of times his have stoppages in there. And you're not even thinking, but when it's a guy, further down the lineup, when he doesn't want to stay out there that long, the boys would be loving it. They would absolutely be loving it.
Yeah. What did you make of the game last night? I thought the goaltenders, the only reason this game didn't have double digits in goals with the goalies at both ends.
Yeah, and then you know how I feel about puck management. It was the first shift for the Oilers. Mishandled puck and bang, Ingram has to make a big save. You can still hear the echo of the Star Spangled Banner echoing around their arena. And this guy's got to make a 5-alarm save. And there's the same Spencer Knight in his end. So pretty casual start to the game. The Oilers, I think it'd be interesting to go back and see it, Greg. When they keep their turnover scoring chances against down, I'm going to call it 10, keeping single digits, what their record is. And because it's a lot. Like last night, there would have been many, and same, even the last goal that Leon scored. I mean, that puck, Kaiser literally, he couldn't have put it more. It was, to his credit, it was right on the tape. Like you dream about those passes when you make them to your team, not the other way around. So, both you're right. Both goalies were good. I think I really liked the way the Oilers just stayed with it, kept going, and got that early, bit of an ugly one there to start the second. Well, not bit. It was an ugly one, but they stayed with it and they did what they needed to get that win. In Chicago, there was missing, two for sure, really important players.
Yeah. The Wallman and Jari both activated. I have to assume like Wallman's playing for sure. And I can't see any reason why you would activate Jari and not play him. Unless they're going to say, well, we just want him to dress. So we're going to play Pickard and Jari tonight. Just so on the dad trip, everyone is on the bench. Like, I guess that's the only other option I could think of.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little different. Like, I know you always want to play everyone when the dads are there, but an injury situation is different. It's not treated the same as, just Strudwick's in and out of the lineup or whatever, right? It's a little bit more, it's just a different situation. So I would expect him to play. And I'm interested to see how he does. I think we know that this is, he's got to get back and get healthy and get playing. But for Wallman, I'm not going to, rate his whole season based on what he does tonight. But they need this guy, right? They need him in their top 4. They've tried Stastny there with some okay results, some tougher nights. Regula is not ready for that spot there, and it's obviously Emberson is kind of been the anchor on the third pairing. So I think they got to get him up and going and playing. And yeah, it's not going to turn overnight, but I want to see that top four rolling. And what does that third pairing look like? Probably cycling guys in and out on that right side.
Well, I think what happens there is, Regula is probably the guy who comes out first. Sure. I would think, right? Emerson's just played better. Let's call a spade a spade. He's played better. Sure. Now, you're not going to sit Regula out forever. And, it's, Stastny or Emerson, unless there's an injury, are probably the only two other guys. Like, I don't see them bringing Nurse out. I don't see them bringing Mekholm out. I don't see them taking Bouchard out, right? And probably not Wallman unless there's an injury. So that's how it's going to be, Struddy. And life of a 6 and 7 defenseman quite well. Like, it becomes a real mental battle at times, and probably harder for a younger defenseman.
Really hard when you're young because you don't understand, why, what am I not doing? How can I do this? How can I get more ice time? And you're in the coach's ear. When you're an older guy like Troy Stecher, he is the ideal 6'7", although in Toronto, he's, arguably a 1 at some games, which, I don't know if that's a compliment to what they got going on over there, although they're playing better. But, there seems to be a real desire to make Regula pan out. And, there's nights where he's looked good, and other nights where he looks like a guy who hasn't played in the AHL very much, and quite frankly, hasn't played much in the last year. So they're trying. So I think that unfortunately for Emerson, a guy who's done well, in his role, I think he will be coming out of the lineup because I think they want to do the same with Stastny. Like they want to get Stastny continue to develop and play, and he's had some really good nights. Is he ready for top 4 minutes? Not what I've seen consistently so far this year.
Yeah, no, and it shouldn't be. And like I look at Ty Emberson, and I said it yesterday. Ty Emberson Struds has very quietly had a really good year. His goals against per 60 are down. His shots are down. Everything's down. Defending. And guess what? He's not playing more minutes. He's in the same role he was in last year. He's just got more NHL experience, right? Like he's kind of figured it out. He's not getting hit as much as he was last season, which is a good sign. He's just moving the puck a little bit quicker, but there's lots of games you don't really notice him. And that's obviously a great thing for a third pair defenseman, right? Like he's not going to bring you a ton of offense, but you're not noticing him by defensive gaffes. Like I'm trying to think of Emberson making any 1 or 2 real glaring ones. I'm sure maybe he has somebody out there who's going to, I remember this game. Okay, great. But nothing that really comes to mind. And that's where, I look at Regula and a lot of people want to write him off. And I'm like, well, it took a year off, big body. You know what? Time is of the essence. If he has to be a number 7 for the rest of the year, just like remember Emerson started losing minutes and games to Stecher. So now Regula might just start losing time because Wallman's back. That's just how it's going to be.
So I think you have to be patient with Regula. You're everything you said is 100% right. He hasn't been playing for the last year. Now he's playing this year at the NHL. If he was waiver eligible, I believe he would be in the minors, and that's probably where he should be. But because of where he's at, so you deal with it. But not to get too far ahead, but I'm really interested to see what he looks like for training camp and next year. He's playing it. He's playing a lot more than he's ever had in the NHL. He's trying to get over what happened the last year. He's out of sorts. So if you can stay healthy this year, play whatever number of games, some playoff games, and then have a good summer of training. Now he comes back and he feels normal. So I'm excited for that. And as far as Emerson, like I would still like to see him add some more physicality because I think he has that in him. And just a bit of a wild card back on that back end because there's not a lot of physicality from that back side. And I think he's a guy that can bring it for this group.
Jason Strudwick joins us. Struddy, 44 points in 19 games. That's a career point total for some veteran NHL defenseman. McDavid is off. He's on a ridiculous run, a regular season run we've never seen from him ever before in his career. Like his 19 game pace, if you put it to a full season, is 189 points, right? Like that's how much he is rolling right now. Now you go into Nashville, Struddy, and Leon Draisaitl has 21 points in his last 7 games in Nashville. The Oilers are 14-1-1 in their last 16 games against the Preds. They've outscored them 72-36. Their power play is 42%. Their penalty kills 84%. Like every metric you want to look at, they're absolutely crushing them. And they've done it over a 6-year span with different players, and it doesn't matter. When they walk into the ring tonight, Struddy, is it just you walk in and you're like, oh, I smell success?
Yeah. Well, first off, your comment about Connor McDavid, I can't believe he's 29. Like today's his birthday. It blows me away that he's almost 30. and we've been able to watch this guy for that long. And I think this is the best I've ever seen him play. And I've seen him play some amazing games and some amazing stretches. Like he just seems like he's on half speed faster than everybody else, than even more than normal. And, he made those comments that, I'm gearing up or getting ready for the Olympics. And man, he looks dialed in. Like if I'm a Canadian fan, I'm really excited about what he can do. He's been so good. But as far as tonight, this is a game you have to be very mature about. Nashville is trying to get out of the dumpster that they've been in. They have been doing better for sure. But the Oilers are the better team. There's no doubt about it. You're the better team. So go in, be mature. And, we just talked about it, but manage your turnovers against. Make them work for everything they get. I don't love their centers in Nashville. I think that they're not built properly. They kind of built on the wings to the middle, which I don't know where that works, but they're trying to do it that way. So I think the Oilers have dominance down the middle. So make them work for everything they get and make them, really suffer when you're in their zone, because the Oilers have the advantage, I think, with in the offensive zone every shift.
Yeah, no, that's very true. Struddy, Braden Point did not look good yesterday. They announced that it's week to week, which like day to day has turned into weeks. So I don't know what week to week will turn into. It might turn into months. And if it's a month, then he's not playing, which is unfortunate for him. So I ask you the question, Struddy. Now, there's certain guys we know are on the short list for Canada. Right now, I don't know if they asked Zach Hyman to stay on that, in the drug testing protocol, which a player has to agree to do. I'm sure they would. Like, why the hell wouldn't you? If you haven't done it, why would you? Oh, you know what? I'm going to say no right now. It doesn't make any sense. But so you got guys like Seth Jarvis and Sam Bennett and Connor Bedard, but also third most goals amongst Canadians since December 1st is Zach Hyman. He plays with Connor McDavid. I think the odds are that Hyman makes that team if Point can't go.
Yeah, I think that the percentage of odds have gone up for sure. I'm not sure that he's right there. Like, I'm trying to think, how do you replace Braden Point? What is he? He does X, Y. He's quick, smart player. He grinds, and I think that is a fair replacement for Hyman to go in there. I don't see Bedard as that guy. I don't see them as similar type players in that style of play. I wonder where Scheifele is. Like, is Scheifele in that conversation? If I had to nail it down, I'd probably say Bennett, Scheifele, Hyman 3. That's probably my three guys would be likely to be replacing. And when I hear week to week 2, that's the team doing him a favor. I saw that knee and I almost turned Ray and puked halfway through, because you can see it coming for Braden Point. I don't care if you hate Tampa or you don't want to see anyone. So I hope it's truly week to week. But Greg's, man, that knee did not turn in the right direction at all.
Watching that, I was like, I don't think there's any chance he's playing for Canada. I hope I'm wrong, but that was my initial one. And that's a real big blow to him. And I think you could tell listening to John Cooper, he knows, you get a once every 4-year chance, Struddy. And Braden Point's not old, but he's 30. Yeah. And you know what? There's no, he was a lock to make the team. He was on the team. Mm-hmm. And there's no guarantee lots can happen. I think he's got the skill. He could still be there again in 4 years, but not for sure. Might be your only chance. So I could see there'd be a lot of mental frustration going on there if he indeed can't make it.
Well, you think about, and I'm not saying he's only there because of his coach, but his head coach is John Cooper, who's also the head coach of the Olympic team. So in 4 years, is Braden Point still being coached by John Cooper? Is John Cooper the coach of the Olympic team? And a new coaching staff might want to go slightly different, right? So you're right. It's just awful. I remember when Ryan Getzlaf had his ankle sprain. And you probably remember this, Greg. This was the Olympics, in 2010 or 11, whatever it was. And he was out for a long time, and he had one game before the break, and it was against the Oilers, us. And I remember sitting in the dressing room, we're talking guys, he's been out for a long time, and he's got this bad ankle. What can he do? You'd have to check it. I think he had 4 or 5 points. He literally tore us a new one. It was all over. And he went to the Olympics the next day. He was going to prove it. And we were like, okay, I don't know what's going to happen, but we should have known what he was going to do, because he was an animal that game. And it's one of the best games I've ever seen him play. He tore us in half. So, anything's possible, but when guys want to make it and they're an elite player, you can go then tear a team in half and say, hey guys, I'm good to go. Bring me.
Yeah, no, that's very true. I hope it happens. Struddy, enjoy the game tonight. We'll talk to you again next week.
Thanks, boys. Take it easy.
There goes Jason Strudwick from Got Your Back podcast in the Struddy's world. Quick break. We'll come back. 5 questions on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
I skipped breakfast this morning. Stay out of my way.
Don't threaten me with your bad choices.
No worries. A booster bar from Booster Juice will fix me.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, because they're new. Snack-sized bars packed with seeds, pecans, gluten-free oats, all sorts of good stuff.
That sounds lovely, actually.
2 different flavors to try, too. Coconut pecan booster bars and harvest booster bars. Want to skip breakfast with me?
I take it back. You make good choices.
Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So, when you wake up to no heat, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If you need it immediately with no overtime rates. If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
Wow, get ready for a silly hockey fan. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's with a $6 1-top medium when you order any large specialty at regular menu price. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Craving a dining experience that rises above the rest? Head to Summit Restaurant, nestled in the heart of the Silent Ice Center, and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Savor Summit's exceptional house-made pizza, delectable entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails, all served in a stylish, modern atmosphere. For a casual meal or a special night on the town, Summit Restaurant offers a straightforward yet refined experience, where every bite and sip reflects our dedication to quality. Elevate your dining experience. Visit Summit Restaurant tonight.
This is the sound of a Toyota Tundra hauling a custom, fully furnished ice hut out to the lake. And this is the sound of a Tundra hauling home some store-bought frozen cod when the lake didn't deliver. 2 extremes, 1 Tundra with serious towing capacity. Now's the time to get yours. It's time to Toyota. Lease a 2026 Tundra 4x4 double cab SR5 from $149 weekly for 60 months at 4.99% with $7,599 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your Prairie Toyota dealer today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Riverside Honda, 59 years and counting as St. Albert and surrounding areas' premier Honda and Can-Am dealer. It's your dream. Ride it at riversidehonda.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
A puck drop around 6:15 tonight. The Oilers in Nashville to take on the Predators, and they're home to take on the Islanders, and in Vancouver Saturday, and back home Sunday to take on Le Blues du St. Louis. Let's get to 5 questions now, brought to you by The Brick, where saving you more is what they can do for you right now at The Brick and thebrick.com, as they've got steals of a deal right now. When you buy 2 or more eligible appliances, you save on the tax. You can sofas starting at just $3.99, mattresses starting at just $99, and dining chairs at just $28 right now at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, quickly, what's going to happen tonight? Oilers-Preds meeting in just over an hour.
Well, we didn't get the goals, I thought, yesterday, but Captain Obvious, McDavid's going to get it to a 20 games. It's like you can't pick against them. How would you? Like, I will say the Sorokin one will be tough, but tonight I think McDavid and Draisaitl point night for them. Oilers continue to beat Nashville. They win tonight 5-3.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's going to be a good start for the team. They'll come out buzzing, and then if any fatigue sets in, it'll be too little too late. Oilers have a big enough lead. Give me 5-1, and like you, I will say the point streak continues. With Wallman returning, if you were in charge of making the Oilers defensive pairings, what would yours look like?
Well, Wallman's with Nurse, Stashny's with Emberson, Bouchard's with Echo.
I'm with you.
I'm not overthinking
it. That's probably a good strategy. Question number 3 for you. Outside of hockey, since we are talking Olympics already, what sport are you most looking forward to?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm going to go ski cross. I love it.
Yeah, there's so many good ones. I always like downhill skiing. Like you can't really give it the proper respect. It's just on TV. It doesn't show how fast they're going. But also give me bobsleigh. Looking forward to that as well. Question number 4 for you. Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin stepping down today after a long time with the black and yellow. What do you think the next step will be for him?
Oh, without question, he's going to be an analyst on TV. I think you're 19 years as a head coach, man. I can't imagine just how draining that is for a guy. So take a year off, relax, and you know what? He'll know very quickly how much he misses it. And it's good to take some time off. Like I look at the coaching vacancies this year. Are there any you'd sprint to go get?
Sprint? No.
Yeah. So why? I'd wait. He can, he's made more money than he needs. He's going to get paid a lot to be on the broadcast. It's definitely going to be less stressful. And, we'll see how he does it. I have no idea if he's any good, right? We'll find out. But, he's a young coach who's been in the league for a long time. He's had a lot of success. So I think he's going to get a job there. I'm going to say for sure he's on TV. And now, which channel would he be on? That's the question. Is it CBS who has the opening? I think it is. So I'll say there.
Yeah, I mean, I like that one. I would love to just, big heel turn, go to the Baltimore Ravens, your longtime division rival.
That would be unreal.
Like, that would be so funny to see.
Harbaugh to Pittsburgh?
No, he's going to New York.
He's going to the Giants.
I think he's going to the Giants. That's my guess.
Okay.
They've got a good building, block there. So I think there's some good options there, but I would love to see him pull the heel turn and just go to Baltimore. Final question for you today. It is Natalie Dyer's birthday. She was in Stranger Things, for those who do not know. With that being said, what is your favorite Netflix movie or TV show?
Go ahead.
I would have Stranger Things right up there. I really did enjoy that series, but the one that caught me and a lot of other people will say Squid Game.
Never watched it, so can't comment on it. What would I pick? I'm trying to think like a Netflix. I always forget which ones, like who made them. So that's my challenge. I actually quite liked Adolescence recently this year, so I guess I'll go with that. But also, there's one movie that I didn't mind. Like it's, what people would say the movie wasn't that great, but I liked it. Bird Box. Pretty sure that's Netflix.
Sandra Bullock?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good one.
Yeah. So I'll go with Bird Box.
Good picks.
Kind of like a thriller. Like they call it a horror. It wasn't really, I didn't find it that scary, but it was a good little suspense thriller. A little bit. I think that's what we'd call it. So I like that. Is White Lotus Netflix?
No, HBO.
Didn't think so. Yeah. I thought it was HBO because White Lotus is unreal. Have you watched season 3 of White Lotus?
Oh, yeah. Well, you guys kept talking about that bar scene.
Oh,
so
my God. It's unbelievable. It's the greatest. It's so funny. And then when you hear the backstory about, making that scene, that's what makes it even funnier. So I like it. Let's get to a break. We'll come back. We got the pregame show. Walks will join us here. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram is always brought to you by playalberta.ca. Get in the game, playalberta.ca. Let's go to Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. MC. Mike and the gang down at Northgate, big thank you from Mike and everybody for making 25 very successful, fed over 500 families, and look to continue that in 2026 and get great vehicles, northgategm.com.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Game day, Edmonton Oilers down in Nashville, set to take on the Preds. Puck drop just after 6 o'clock. Our pregame coverage coming up next. Elsewhere, you got the Flames and the Jackets, Canadians taking on the Capitals. Islanders in Winnipeg, Mammoth host the Leafs, and the Stars up against the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. Currently the Ducks. Rockets taking on the Bulls. You got the Timberwolves in Milwaukee, Lakers hosting the Hawks, Spurs up against the Thunder, and the Warriors and Trailblazers wrap up a busy night in the association. From the NFL, Mike Tomlin stepping down after 19 years in Pittsburgh with the Steelers as their head coach. With his departure, the Steelers begin their first coach or fourth head coach search since 1969, and in Los Angeles, offensive coordinator Greg Roman fired. Eagles doing the same with their OC Kevin Patullo. ECHL action works in Okotoks tonight just after 7. In the PWHL, you got Ottawa and Montreal getting going shortly. Coming up next here on Sports 1440, pregame coverage with Andrew Walker, Donovan Paulson, Jason Gregor, and Landon Ferraro. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
The new double cheesy melt at McDonald's. We're talking 2 juicy, mouth-watering 100% Canadian beef patties, 2 slices of cheesy goodness, with even more melty, cheesy sauce on top. Topped with pickles, then crispy and grilled onions. The way it all comes together, you don't just eat it, you melt into it. The double cheesy melt, only at McDonald's. For a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
At On the Rocks, the party never stops.
Check it out.
Mondays, bingo tunes.
Tuesdays, tacos and tequila.
Wednesdays, it's wings and karaoke.
Shake what your mama gave ya with salsa lessons on Thursdays and the best live DJs.
Plus, live music every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, along with DJ Kenny K.
Hold on, let's not forget $5 happy hour, 7 days a week.
Your bar, your party. You're On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
Jeff Brab and 118th.
Clear out the old and make room for new trends. The Brick is holding their store-wide inventory clearance event. Scratch and dent, last year's models, and overstock is up to 70% off. Score mattresses starting at just $99. Sofas starting at just $3.99. And dining chairs starting at just $28. And this Friday to Monday, check out incredible 4-day deals, like save the tax when you buy 2 or more eligible major appliances. Check out The Brick in Edmonton with 4 locations. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
From the locker room to your radio, Sports 1440 is Edmonton's sports leader. Real talk, big personalities, and your texts. It's interactive. It's fun. It's where Edmonton talks sports. Sports 1440.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So, when you wake up to no heat, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If you need it immediately with no overtime rates. If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Hear ye, hear ye. Dragon fruit has returned to Booster Juice. Prepare thyself for the legendary alchemy of the Dragon Slayer smoothie, Pink Dragon Booster Mixer, and Dragon Booster Ball. Does the dragon taste like chicken? Nay, Booster Juice uses only delicious tropical dragon fruit. No dragons are harmed. Get thee to Booster Juice before dragon fruit vanishes once more.
Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Welcome to Uncommon.
Welcome to Subaru. Engineered for Canadian winters, built for real-life confidence. Tackle the ice and snow with Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive, delivering the power, control, stability, and grit you need. And when the temperature plummets, you'll cruise in comfort with heated seats and heated steering wheel. All this plus peace of mind with Subaru's top safety pick status for 19 years running. This winter, it's time to get you into a Subaru. Visit Subaru.ca today.
Oilers pregame is brought to you by Titan Supply. Built on trust, driven by safety. The Titan way. Visit titansupply.ca.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Riverside Honda. 59 years in counting as St. Albert and the surrounding area's premier Honda and Can-Am dealer. It's your dream. Ride it at riversidehonda.com.
Before every game this season, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker, exclusively on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. It is 5:03 on your Tuesday afternoon. Back inside the Sports 1440 studios, taking over the final hour of the Jason Gregor show. It is the Titan Supply pregame show. The Oilers and their little son, their little brother, the Nashville Predators, coming up in about an hour. Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca. Andrew Walker, Donovan Paulson, of course, Jason Gregor, Declan Kruger. It's a full house in here. Lots to get to. Landon Farrar is going to join us in about 40 minutes. He's going to come up on towards the end of the pregame show. The River Cree over-unders coming up. We'll get you set with the lines, break down this one a little bit. We'll hear from the head coach all ahead here on the Titan Supply pregame show. And, of course, the River Cree over-under as well. I just rolled in here. I'm scrambling. I hate when it's like really windy in the summer, like you can't do anything. You book a tee time, you're looking forward to it. It's sunny out and then the wind is 50 kilometers an hour. I hate that. And I hate weather like this. I would rather my car wouldn't start because it's minus 50 than this slush. I hate it. Hate it.
Well,
do you like it? Do you like it because it's warm? I
don't mind that it's warm. I don't love that everything's melting in January and the ODRs are getting soft. No, I don't like that part of it. Like, I didn't want minus 30 forever. I would like, honestly, just stick it around minus 7, minus 10. That's golden to me. Now, we did need the roads. They were pretty slick, so I think melting them for 2 days would have been great. But now you got puddles of water. And if it actually gets cold again quickly, then they'll be even worse.
Does the city? I was going to say, well, you're technically St. Albert. You're not Edmonton. I was going to say, does the city clean your road?
We have pretty good grading around, like on the main thoroughways.
Well, Richie Rich, you're in the nice little area there
in St. Albert. But like the road right in, they've graded it once. But like, dude, I have mounds of snow in front of my house because when the grader comes, there's certain spots where it's like 8 feet tall, dude.
Right.
So, kids are tobogganing on the street.
I hate it out there. Brutal. Andrew Walker. And you know what? I'm up out of, it's actually dangerous. I'm out of wiper fluid. So you can imagine.
Oh, dude,
I'm like pouring coffee out my window.
that is the one thing that I have, like, at the start of every winter now, I buy like 3 boxes of it.
Yeah.
And because I'm like, you know what? It'll never go bad. And it just sits in there and away you go. Because if you go to buy one, I don't know if there's a product that I can think of in my lifetime that has gone up more than windshield wiper fluid. If you want to stop and like get it at a gas station, it's like $8 now. And I'm like, what? I used to get this thing for like $2. Like, there's no way it's gone up that much that quickly. You can't, I don't know what's in it, but you can't tell me it's gone that. Like, I find that is the one thing. I know the price of food and everything's gone up, but windshield wiper fluid, because I look and say, you know what? I could pour water in my thing in the summer and it works the same. And I just need a little bit of stuff so it doesn't freeze.
Yeah.
And now it's costing me this much.
I was going to say, I feel like that's something you could make
you probably
yourself.
could. You probably
right. If you have a little, you took chemistry grade 12.
I just mixed it at home. It wouldn't be that hard, right? It's probably 90% water, 95, and then 5 little drops of something. And probably somebody out there right now, if you're at the U of A in science, let us know. We'll pump it out. Because why shouldn't you? Like,
I would
rip off.
Yeah, I would submit to the jury. Hockey cards have gone up the most since I was a kid. You ever like, I'm going to buy a little pack of hockey cards? It's like, $20. Yeah, that's affordable for the old kids.
They're $20.
Wow, I mean,
jeez.
It used to be you could buy. It was just volume, right? Like, it's not worth anything, but that's how kids, before the internet. Anyway, myself, that's how you learned. Team Dean says Costco $14.99 for a case of 4. That's the best deal. I guess so. Morgan, I call this crap the sloppening. That's true. Anyway, like I said, I'd rather it be minus 50. Oilers Preds tonight. Do you the way the Oilers own the Preds and McDavid owns Saros and Draisaitl owns everybody? I don't know if I've ever seen anything quite like it. Maybe, I don't know. The Bills own, although they lost to the Dolphins. I was going to say the Bills beat the Dolphins like 15 times in a row, but the Bills lost the Dolphins this year. Do you own anything? Like I own my family. I have never lost a game of crokinole. You know crokinole, were you?
Yeah.
Own my family in crokinole.
I'm pretty good at cards. I've always been like, we'll play crib, we'll play lots of other games, and I'm not undefeated by any stretch, but I have a very high winning percentage.
Mm-hmm.
We got this new card game. It's called golf. Play with my son and my wife, and we play it all the time. And
play 9 or actual golf?
Yeah, play 9.
Yeah, that's why I love that game.
Yeah, it's a great.
Love
game.
it.
And so I didn't know my son was keeping track. He's like, "Dad, you've never lost." I'm like, "I'm sure I've lost." And he's like, "No," because he beat me the other day, and he was just like, and I'm like, "Oh, good." And the wife's like, "You've never let him win?" I'm like, I didn't know I won every time, but I said he's old enough now. You got to play like he like.
I also have a very high winning percentage in golf because there's a lot of strategy to it. You know what it is? It's a game. It's math. It's a game of probabilities.
Yes,
is what it is.
And there's a little strategy on which cards you're flipping. Never flip 2 in the same pile because now you're already short.
Of course, that's number one. My dad flips up and down every time,
it's the worst.
And I'm like, Ian, you already are starting the game with a 40% chance of losing. He doesn't understand why. But anyway.
Yeah.
So you should do this. We have in our box, we play it so much, like we were over in Switzerland, we played it so much, we wore out the set. We had to get a new one. And inside the box, we have all the records, right? Best score for a 2-man game, 3-man game, 4-man game, high hand.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. It's good. That's the way to do it.
See, we used to have a crib board, and if you skunked someone, you wrote your name and the date and who you skunked on the back of the crib board. And it was glorious, man. Like, you play at different friends' houses, and I still have some crib because really? August 7th, double skunk. It's amazing. So Carius is on his own crib board. Skunked him a few times.
I don't really know how to play crib. Angie taught me a while, and then I would win beginner's luck, and then when I would win, I would yell cribbage, like you yell Uno, and she's like, you don't yell cribbage when you win, and I did, and that pissed her off enough. Now we don't play anymore. But
I was looking up in the 80s,
cribbage.
Gretzky, as a member of the Oilers, 62 games against the
Canucks.
Flames.
Oh, okay, Flames, yeah.
Had 139 points, 2.24 points per game. But you're right, Canucks, let me look it up. I'm sure the Canucks is probably
he would get
more.
You know, one of my favorite things.
153 in 64 games, which is still crazy enough. Like, think about, so that's pretty dominant, 2.39, 153 points in 64 games. That still doesn't match where he dominated the entire league when he went 153 points in 51 games to start the 83-84 season. And the only reason that streak ended is because he was injured. Right? Because you remember, he didn't get the point against LA, and then he missed 6 games, and he came back and he scored like 18 points his next 5 games. Like,
hot take,
crazy.
51 games in a row. I'm surprised that's all it is for Gretzky, which is an absurd number.
Yeah.
But like, who held that guy without a point?
Yeah. Well, LA did when he had a bum shoulder, but I looked at Gretzky's seasons. And in 1986, the year he had 215 points, he played 80 games. There was only 3 games all year he didn't have a point. He had points in 77 out of 80.
He had like more games with 4 or 5 points than 0.
He had 0. Yeah. For multiple seasons in his career, because the year of when he had the 51 points. That was the year he had 205 points in 74 games. He actually had a higher points per game mark that year in 84, the year they won the Cup for the first time, than he did the year he had 215 points, but he missed 6 games. And that year he also only had 3 games without a point. Like he was so dominant. And where McDavid's at right now is extremely impressive. And I just have a hunch that he's going to push 30.
I mean, I totally agree. Although he's been flirting with it a little bit, a couple of games, right? But he finds a way.
Like the Winnipeg was really the only one when he got the empty netter assist on Hyman, right? That's the only one. And I remember Gretzky had one. I think it was game 41 or 2 where he had a point empty net assist in Chicago to keep it going. So, or maybe it was an empty net goal. So that'll happen. Every streak that goes long, you need a little bit of luck like that, but. I just honestly, like, I look at Nashville, they get points against them all the time. And I've said it after this week, if he can get through the Islanders, that's the one game Sorokin's playing unreal. If he gets through the Islanders and scores, Vancouver he beats up for fun, and they're terrible right now. Then you got the Blues, and then it's every second day against teams that are leaking goals. New Jersey, Pittsburgh, everybody else. The next toughest game is probably Minnesota at the end of the month. But that game against the Islanders is the one where you're like, geez, Sorokin's being unreal.
Yeah,
that's the
but
only one.
It's a home game, you know, which helps. So the modern day, by modern day I mean kind of post lockout, right? 04.
Yeah.
Is that so? That's Kane.
26
Kane.
Yeah.
I mean, for him to beat that, it's another 7 games in a row. A 7-game point streak is pretty impressive in and of itself. And I'm with you. I just see no way he doesn't do it.
And the year Kane did that, and that was during the 15-16 season. Remember, that was the year.
That was the short year?
No, there was 82 games. That was that Kane was the only player who scored 100 points that year in the NHL. He had 103, and I think the next closest was 89. That was right kind of in the just the lower era. The year before, Ben had won the scoring
with
title.
89 points.
89 points. And then the next year, nobody else had 89 except Patrick Kane. But he had 40 points in 26 games, which is still really good. Don't get me wrong. It's on pace for like 130 points in a season. But McDavid's already beat that, and he's only played 19 games. Like, what's unique about his streak is it's already 19 games, but it's the productivity that he's had during the streak that's impressive to me.
Yes, agreed. And I've said this for a while here on the show, but you can debate. I mean, recency bias plays in because McDavid has had unbelievable runs over the last decade. So it's sometimes a little tough to say, oh, this is clearly the best he's ever been, because he's been a monster at different times and a monster in the postseason, and one streak runs into another. I would say I don't know if I've ever seen him every night he flirts with the goal of the year. Like he scores an absolute highlight reel goal almost every night. And that is an element I don't necessarily remember him doing all the time. And that stat, I was listening to you yesterday, that stat you threw out about and we talked about his ice time or the fake controversy about how much he plays. His bursts over 30 compared to number 2 or over 25, whatever it is. What a stat.
Yeah.
What a stat.
No, he's skating maybe better than he ever has, which is crazy to say because he's been an elite skater for a long, long time. And there's every element of his game, like his shot, he's doubled his shots per game in this 19 game stretch compared to what he did in the first 27. He only had 75 shots in the first 27 games. And he's got 99 and 19 now. Like it's a wild difference for him. And basically he's doing what he said he was going to do. It just took him a little bit longer. I'm going to shoot the puck more. And now he is. He scored 30 goals for the 9th consecutive time. Also 50 assists, 10 consecutive seasons. Only 3 other players have done that.
This is a terrible.
Oh, sorry, 4. Gretzky, Coffey, Howard Chuck, and Bernie Federico to have 10 consecutive seasons of 50 assists.
This, and I imagine Kucherov will do that too.
Maybe, but here's the other one. McDavid, when he gets to 60 assists, him and Gretzky will be the only 2 that ever had 10 consecutive seasons of 60 assists or more.
The Weiss Johnson text line, 1-833-401-1440. John says McDavid seems more confident than ever somehow, which I think is pushing the production so high in 19. His dad said the same last night, too, in Gene's interview. And maybe the Olympic year has something to do with that. The contract, I mean, the guy is locked in. He wants to win so badly. But this is a terrible comparison because it's a one of the GOATs and then a guy that was just very good. Different sport too. But when I was in Toronto, when DeMar DeRozan was kind of the face of the Raptors before they moved off of him and in the Kawhi Leonard deal. What was so impressive about DeRozan is that every year he'd come back from the offseason and he'd have a little new element to his game that he focused on. And the other elements stayed the same. McDavid kind of has that same thing. And remember one year he did that really quick, like slide along the ice 5-hole shot.
Yeah.
And that was kind of coming out of COVID. He beat so many goalies like that.
Yeah.
We haven't seen it a lot this year, but it's still in his arsenal. Last year he did that little behind the net, chip it off the side of the head. He scored 4 or 5 times like that. You've seen him try it here and there. And you've seen other guys in the league, Jack Hughes is one of them, kind of copy him. But, he's not getting a ton of goals that way. Everything, the move that I've noticed this year, and I wonder if he picked up a little bit from Draisaitl, but he's kind of doing that straight arm swim move coming out of the corner. And when his feet are moving coming out of the corner, he loses guys.
Yeah, can't stop him.
Like Donnie and I were watching last night, and I can't remember who the D-man was. And he turned out of the corner. Maybe it was just the center. Maybe it was Dickinson. And it was like he was playing at our shinny skate. It was crazy how he can lose his check in the corner like that or accelerate with a turn. I don't think anybody else, not even McKinnon or Makar, can do that. Accelerate out of a stop in the corner.
No, well, very few for sure. It's unique for him. I do want to get to this one quick text that came in from Smalls. Hey guys, for Christmas, my husband had a custom-made crib board made for me, and it's of the Boston Bruins arena with their logo at center ice, and it has a box that bore Bobby Orr's years when he played. That's
good.
Pretty sick. And also the Oilers lines for tonight coming out. Jari is starting, no surprise. Jake Wallman's going to play with Stastny on the right side. Emerson's going to stay with Nurse. And Curtis Lazar's coming out of the lineup. That shocks me. He was really good last night. So Lazar's out. Frederick played well. He's going to center Janmark and Ike Howard. I knew Ike Howard was going to come back in. So
the only reason the only reason has to be Dad's trip.
Yeah, but I thought Mangiapane would have come out. I thought that fourth line was excellent last night.
I agree. And maybe the market is looking for something because you got to look for positives with the Frederick stuff. I think there's a little bit of life to Frederick. Now, listen, we're starting right at the bottom, right? The baseline is pretty low. Expectations are pretty low. To me, it's all about the feet, and the feet move when he's getting a little bit more confident on where to go. But I'm with you. Lazar had 4 shots on goal last night.
Yes.
So
that's why I was surprised.
I am surprised.
He really played well. Yeah.
Maybe he's a little banged up. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, no, that surprises me. So Wallman comes back in. Let's you have the lines in front of you.
Yeah.
Okay, so the lines for Nisku Ford all this month. Get rates as low as 0% or choose rebates as high as $10,000. Details at niskuford.ca. Wallman is. I want to talk about Wallman a little bit. Very interesting. But what are we looking at? Not a ton of changes tonight.
No,
other than Jari.
Yeah. So you have McDavid's line stays the same with Nugent Hopkins and Hyman, Draisaitl with Kapanen and Podkolzin. You have Roslovic with Savoy still on his side, and then Mangiapane on the left side. Frederick between Janmark and Howard. Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Emberson, Wallman, Stastny, and Jari is starting with Calvin Pickard as the backup tonight.
Do you think Connor Ingram kind of solidified things a little bit last night?
Well, he did play very well. So they got 4 days to decide, right? 4 days until he's waiver eligible is how it works for Connor Ingram. Now, you could keep 3 goalies right up until the Olympic break if you wanted to. They have the roster space to do it. They got the cap space to do it. They got like $270K in cap space right now with Henrique on LTIR. So they could do it. I get the people say, hey, if you put Pickard on waivers, that Philadelphia might pick him up because they don't like Samuel Ersson. And there's probably some truth to that. I don't discount that, but I think that's the only team. So why not just keep 3 in the meantime and see what happens? Like, I know because, once it's past Saturday, they're like, well, geez, what if we have to move Ingram down? Now he has to clear waivers, and you're definitely not going to send him down because he'd get claimed for sure.
Yes.
And I get the risk of, well, if you wait too long, then you got to send Pickard down and then he'll get claimed. Well, he might, right? But who gives you a better chance to win? And
you make the decision and you live with it. If Ingram's your guy,
yeah.
If someone claims Pickard, good for him.
Yeah. Like, does Ingram give you a better chance to win in the NHL right now than Pickard?
Yeah.
I would probably say yes.
Yeah.
So am I going to worry about, well, what if our goalie gets hurt? Over what if we lose games and then lose home ice advantage? What's a bigger what if for you? And that's what they have to weigh.
Pickard goes in once in a while and has a really good game like he did against Winnipeg, the 3-1 win, and people celebrate it, and that's fine. But it feels like an anomaly when that happens, which is not a great thing. I don't know. He's had a great run, man. Like he helped save the Oilers playoff season last year. It looked at various points like he was a career minor leaguer. His career was over. He's gotten games. He's made some money. He's played in the playoffs. It's okay. It's okay to end a chapter. Just that. It's okay to end a chapter. It doesn't have to be some big thing. Ingram's clearly an upgrade. And to me, even if you were kind of humming and hawing, going back and forth, it just solidified last night. I didn't think, when the shots were 20-6 and looked like the Oilers were going to win about 8-0 last night, I thought, well, goaltending's not going to be a big topic on the post-game show. And all of a sudden it was. Like he bailed them out because all of a sudden you woke up and it was 2-1 with 5 minutes to go, and the Hawks had a couple of big chances, and Ingram was his best game as an Oiler, bar none.
Oh, he was like that opening chance. My God, I don't know how many seconds it was in the game, but it was just a whoo, mama. Okay, I guess I'm awake. I'm into the game, and that's a way to get your goaltender in the game. Obviously he liked it because he played exceptionally well in that game, and so did Spencer Knight. The Oilers had a lot of chances.
Oh yeah,
right. Like they kind of got. You look at the Hyman goals, a really nice stick. Get his stick between the legs goal. Bouchard, they got lucky on, then the empty net goal, and then just an absolute gift to Draisaitl. Like the Oilers didn't really beat Knight on one clear shot all game.
There's a couple of posts, a couple of pucks that I don't know how didn't go in. Roslovic had about 8 or 9 really good chances. The Kapanen play was crazy because that was the whole net if he just waits for a second. And he still should have scored, but then it went right at the Spencer Knight's glove. To be honest, and this is maybe a little critical comment, we're a little biased now. I thought the only guy I didn't especially like was Mangiapane. I thought everyone else, at least offensively, was going.
Like that fourth line was really good. I thought like Trent Frederick and Janmark and Lazar, all three of them, I thought were very good. They dominated shots for against. So I'm surprised he split them up. Maybe it's, veteran guy, maybe he's like, hey, Mangiapane's been out so long. I don't know. But, we'll see what happens here. Like if I look at who do I think can help the team more down the road in their role, I think it's Lazar based on what I've seen all year long over Mangiapane. So, there's probably a method to his madness. Maybe Lazar got nicked up and we don't know about it, but I'm a little surprised. Is it ultimately going to matter? Probably not. But man, I thought that fourth line finally got some momentum.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And we talked a little bit yesterday about the win streak. Edmonton needs a win streak. And right now, so they win last night. You can't put the cart before the horse, but they always beat the Preds. So you're hoping it's back-to-back nights. We will see, but you're hoping they can beat the Preds tonight. And then all of a sudden, like you said, I mean, they're back at home against the Islanders. The Islanders aren't exactly the 72 Flyers. They're all right. They're a tough out, but Vancouver, St. Louis, Jersey struggling, Pittsburgh, Washington. These are all home games. Washington, Anaheim, San Jose, Minnesota. I mean, this is a huge opportunity the rest of the month. Huge.
Oh God, dude! I said after this week, the rest of the season, the Oilers have a very favorable schedule. When you look at opponents, travel, and how many backs to back, and everything else, they have a very favorable schedule. Like, don't be surprised if the Oilers go on a decent heater down the stretch.
I don't even know. This might even be our last little crossover this year. I don't even know if there is an earlier weekday game going. There might be a 6 o'clock at somewhere, I guess, but
yeah, maybe.
But we will see.
You could be right. Yeah, no, the Oilers. Well, looking in because they don't have any more this month. And then they're on the West Coast. They have, there's 2 games in March because they start. So we'll have 5 o'clock pre-games against Dallas and St. Louis. And that's it.
Andrew Walker, Jason Gregor. It is the Titan Supply pregame show. Okay, before we go to break, your first look at the River Cree over-under. I really liked the one last night, so we're going to just do it again. It was because it was a fun one to chart. And again, with the dad's trip, who doesn't want to score a point in front of their dad? And when that game started, it looked like it was going to be the easiest over of all time. So it was 7.5. Would 7.5 Oilers over or under find a way onto the score sheet last night? And the tricky part is there's about 5 guys on Edmonton that are usually good for a point, and they all got one. And then at the end of the day, they were the only ones to get one. Draisaitl, McDavid, Hyman, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Evan Bouchard, 5. All you needed was 1 goal from another line and so many chances, right? The Kapanen, the Roslovic, Ekholm was on the doorstep. And so, again, dad's trip in Nashville. They love their offense there. So we're going to do the exact same one. 7.5 is the number. Total Oilers to get a point, over or under. Send us a note on the Weiss Johnson text line, 1-833-401-1440, and we could send you $100 to the River Cree, where you can catch all your favorite sports live on the big screens at Tap 25 and in the center bar. Visit rivercreeresort.com. Okay, we'll take a break. On the other side, lots more coming up on the Titan Supply pregame show, Sports 1440.
Pre-matchups are brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. For all your automotive needs, go to your trusted experts in high-quality parts, tools, equipment, and more. That's Napa know-how.
Touch base on the Weiss Johnson text line, 1-833-401-1440. Keep your home warmer and energy costs down with a Goodman furnace installed by the pros from Weiss Johnson. Visit weiss-johnson.com for your new Goodman furnace.
Oilers pregame is brought to you by Titan Supply. Built on trust, driven by safety. The Titan way. Visit titansupply.ca.
Clear out the old and make room for new trends. The Brick is holding their store-wide inventory clearance event. Scratch and dent, last year's models, and overstock is up to 70% off. Score mattresses starting at just $99, sofas starting at just $399, and dining chairs starting at just $28. And this Friday to Monday, check out incredible 4-day deals, like save the tax when you buy 2 or more eligible major appliances. Check out The Brick in Edmonton with 4 locations. Some exclusions apply. See you in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
He's heading into the driveway. Temperature's dropping fast, folks. He opens the hood and, oh no, the battery's on thin ice.
Yeah, that's a tough break, Tim. I mean, you can't expect to compete and win with weak parts in your game like that.
But wait, he's made a clutch move. He's gone to Napa Auto Parts for the win. They've got batteries, winter-grade oils, antifreeze, and wiper blades built for cold Alberta conditions.
That's a championship play, Tim.
With over 85 Alberta locations, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Across rural Alberta,